Hey, what's good, people? Whether it's an earbud at work or in between class, while you're working out or sitting on your ass, I want to welcome you to the CharlieGtv Podcast, and we got a hell of a show lineup here for you today. It is August 5th, and it's hot as fuck a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we cool as hell in the studio for sure, you know what I mean? I want to welcome everybody on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe. You know, we dropping a pod and dropping clips like every day, you know what I mean? Steady making it happen, steady, you know what I mean? We talking about a lot today. You know what I mean? We talking about cooking. We talking about tattoos. We talking about men. You know what I mean? We talking about the future, the past, sci-fi. There's a whole lot we getting into, and you already know Charles always has a headline or two. But before we get into all of that, I would like to introduce the very, very awesome guest that we have in here today. He is a Michigan-born chef who's seen a lot. He's mowed lawns. He's installed countertops, and he's done a lot from washing dishes to executive chef, general manager, and everything in between. I give you this very, very cool, charismatic brother here. Sorry about that. Very cool guy here. You know what I mean? I'd like to introduce the very cool Kyle. Welcome to the podcast, man. Thank you for coming.
Hey, that's good. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming through, bro. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, so we start every podcast with what I call the Watch This Week. You know what I mean? Where it could be like a YouTube video or Instagram reel or a TV show or a movie or a podcast or just anything that you were enjoying this week that you wanted to recommend to the people. So, what you
kind of got me on the spot because I just tend to watch the same old things over and over.
Oh, so you like watching the reruns?
Yeah.
So what's some of your favorite old
comfort shows? Favorite old movies this week that I watched? Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy.
You got to have that one.
Who's in that?
That's like a Happy Madison production. That whole
Happy Madison. That's and Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
Adam
he's
Sandler.
Not in that one, but basically everyone else is.
Yeah. Wow. Shout out to that production house because they do great work. They really do. You know what I mean? All right. If you're going comfort movies, then a movie that I used to sometimes stay with my grandmother and used to be in the room with my uncle. Mad nights, you know what I mean, over my grandmother's house sleeping with me and my uncle in the room. Mad nights I've fallen asleep to Rush Hour 2 or Rush Hour 1. You know what I mean?
Classic.
So Rush Hour 2 and Rush Hour 1 are like comfort movies for me. I see those movies and I know so many of the lines, I know so many of the jokes I think of. Definitely puts me back in childhood mode. You know what I mean? Those movies. So shout out to Rush Hour 1 and 2, man. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Yeah. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Like, it's just a simple movie.
It's simple. It's great.
Doesn't have to be like smart or
so young.
Yeah.
anyway, it's great.
Just a good time.
Yeah, push the goddamn button. Anyway, there's so many little things. I love the movie. I could quote the movie with this. I love the movie. I don't know why I love the movie, but I do. I really do. There's so many parts of it I love. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I'm sorry. Should I pour up? Is that like the
Yeah. Have a drink, man. Have a drink, man. You know what I mean? You know, one of the things I've been working on is I wanted to work a drinking game into the podcast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I was gonna go with Never Have I Ever. You know what I mean?
That could get pretty good.
Yeah. So I just haven't. I'm working on getting a list of questions. You know what I mean? I've only ever done it for one podcast, and it was for a female because they're a little more nervous sometimes. You know what I mean? So they appreciate the games and the lighter topics and the things like that to open
Just
them up.
Have some structure.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but for sure though, but Never Have I Ever would definitely get people drinking. You know what I mean? And that would help with with getting them loose. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they're for.
For real. So yeah.
Hey,
anyway.
cheers.
Cheers. Absolutely cheers.
Thanks for having me again.
No problem. All right. Now, first question I have for you was your ethnicity exactly, because if you told me that you was like I don't know, like Puerto Rican, I'd be like, all right, I understand.
Sure.
I understand. Or if you told me that you were from fucking Amsterdam, I'd be like, all right, I understand.
Dude,
I understand.
I know what you're saying. It's been a
a
gift and a curse my whole life.
Yeah,
Like, either people really fuck with me, like, hey, puppy. I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Or if you told me that, you own like 16 hotels, I'd be like, all right, I could see that.
that'd be nice.
You know what I mean? But yeah, what you call it? Well, what's your ethnicity exactly?
Dude, a fucking mutt, basically. Like, I can stand on the ground like my family was fucking.
All right, it was fucking around.
Yeah.
Real liberal, real liberal.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
real.
No type. Like,
Yeah, no type.
overall, though, like Italian and Austrian. That's like the main part of it.
Austrian. Yeah. Wow. Austrian. What is that? Sounds like
Schwarzenegger shit.
That's where all the Bond villains come from. Wait.
Oh, that's where Arnold comes from.
Wait.
No villains. No villain has ever come from Austria.
No villains ever come from Austria. It's lying. It's lying. One of the greatest humans ever lived came from Austria. Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely one of the greatest guys to ever do it. You know what I mean? Like I love the rant that Bill Burr went on about Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've seen that.
You haven't seen that? He was talking about how Arnold Schwarzenegger's been dunking, shooting straight 3-pointers his whole life. You know what I mean? He's like he moves to another country, doesn't speak the language, becomes a actor anyway. You know what I mean? Like an iconic actor, kills the game. He basically gets with the royalty of the country, like a Kennedy. You know what I mean? And then runs for governor. Like, why wouldn't he think he could fuck his maid and get away with it? Like, why he's been murking it his entire career, his entire life. He's been on top of the shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
they said he could never be an actor. He was too big. Yeah. And like Conan the Barbarian comes along.
Yep.
Another one of my favorites, definitely. But
they said I couldn't be an actor. I put them wrong. They said,
dude, that motivational speech he gave, like for that college graduation. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
gets me going every time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Because
sleepless.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I love it. And one of his quotes is, I think from Terminator, anger is more useful than sadness.
Hell yeah.
He said that, you know what I mean? That's dope. It's true. You know what I mean?
Take that with me everywhere. For worse or worse.
But yeah, man. All right. Austrian and Italian. That's dope. You know what I mean? What was it like for you growing up, would you say? Who raised you?
Basically, left my dad when I was 3, not when we were 3. Went to Florida, raised by my grandma, my great aunt, my mom. Like, shit was badass. Like, for 3 years, going to the beach and all that shit.
Cool.
And had to come back to Michigan when my mom got a job opportunity, like teaching.
Okay. Like, that's dope.
Yeah, because she had been teaching here forever, so it's just like, hey, we'll give you the big bucks. And yeah. Been in Michigan for most of it. Like, did a stint in L.A. for a couple months.
Stint in L.A.?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, I lived there. But I stayed there for a while.
It was like a couple months. How long? Was this months?
Like 3 months.
3 months? Oh, that's dope. Nah, that's a little time. It's a little time. It's enough to, get into some trouble. Definitely longer than a vacation, though.
Yeah,
vacation is like a weekend. Like
some middle ground.
3 months is like, that's like a job. Like,
Literally, I was there for a job. So
yeah. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, what you call it? You have any siblings?
Half brother, half sister on my dad's side.
Okay, all right, cool.
Don't really talk to them since like the whole divorce and everything.
I understand. I have a half brother somewhere on my dad's side, and a half sister. I think I have 2 of those. You know what I mean? My dad was a busy man.
Real bad man.
You know what I mean? But he's also Jamaican, and he's in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So a lot of my halves they've never been near me. You know what I mean? I haven't had a chance to even.
You've never been there?
You know what I mean? Yeah, no. But I do have a half brother, I believe, somewhere in America. Last time I checked, he was somewhere in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, somewhere over there in Philly. You know what I mean? But yeah.
You ever talk? Or?
Nah, but I was in contact with his mother for a little while. You know what I mean? And then I don't know what happened there. You know what I mean? But yeah. What'd you call it? So who who were you in high school?
I mean, I was Kyle.
You was getting, what was
Yeah.
you do? What was you getting into? Was you on a swimming team or something? Or was you like
No, not really. I didn't play many
Skateboarding?
sports after freshman year.
you didn't play many sports after freshman year?
Yeah.
What sports did you play?
I was into basketball and football.
Okay.
Yeah, classics. Right.
Yeah.
Then I got like pretty into the punk scene in Detroit, so that's like involved most of my weekends.
Okay.
Like,
You
day
was
to day.
rocking out. So, and music wise, you like are you like heavy metal or do you like
Yeah, like hardcore punk, all those subgenres that get like real fucking weird. You know, like actually, it's like this kind of like music. Like, yeah, sure, I like it.
Yeah,
You know?
I had talked to one of the most research I ever did was for this guitarist, you know what I mean, who was with this band called Cyadine, you know what I mean, and who actually, I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't think they released it to the public yet, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But
Top secret podcast.
their band is doing very well. Let's just say
I'd
that.
love to hear it.
You know what I mean? But yeah, they are a heavy metal band. You know what I mean? And so I had to learn about before the pod. I was researching Black Sabbath and shit.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, watching
OGs.
videos on it, and this dude explained to me how like they were trying to like push the distortion, but still be rhythmic and like still be like discernible. You know what I mean? And what's heavy versus like the I don't know. He was explaining a lot to me. You know what I mean? And it was really dope. It was really dope. You know what I mean? And then I used that knowledge to better ask better questions in about you.
Yeah.
It was really cool experience. You know what I'm saying? But I learned there is some. If I had to pick a heavy metal that I could get with, it would definitely be like a groove metal.
Oh,
You know
hell
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It needs to have
Infectious Grooves.
Yeah.
You know them?
No.
Check
No,
them out. That's groovy shit, bro.
But they need to have some groove. A lot of times when I would tell him that I was liking something he was playing, it turned out to be I want to say it was Metallica, but I'm not sure. Well, what it was is that it was rhythmic and it made me feel like, even though I never played Doom, but it reminded me of like if I was playing that type of game. Or like a zombie game. It gave me those type vibes. You know what I mean?
The new Doom soundtracks, so good.
Yeah. So it reminded me of that. So I was like, I could get with that. You know what I mean? So learning what they were trying to do as musicians, you know what I mean? Helped me better decode and understand the rhythm and what's happening and how to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Which sort of unlocked my ability to instead, because I was at where a lot of I feel like black people at with heavy metal, where it's like they say, sounds like noise. Sounds like noise to me. Sounds like noise. Sounds like a bunch of. And you know what? You're not all the way wrong. Though. There is a lot of noise and distortion, like from the voice. The voice is sometimes distorted in some type of way. You know what I mean? Every guitar thing is distorted and drop tuned in different ways. You know what I mean? So every part of it is. So there is a lot of added noise and distortion.
You know, there is like.
You know?
And like a lot of the music I like is heavily distorted, you know. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, but it still does have a rhythm. And then I learned about tritones and different multi melodies and different the breakdowns and speeds and the different ways that they mess with.
you know. And like for me, I always say like, if you like it, sick.
Yeah.
You know, if it makes you feel something inside, like run with that. If it doesn't, no problem. You know.
Yeah, I'll be honest though. I've never my experience with that side of it has always been. I know people hate some of the bands that I was if I was you know what I mean, if I was on music that I've listened to many John Mayer songs and some of them I could sing.
Oh man, that guy seems like a very solid dude.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Coldplay. I've listened to mad U2 songs. I listen to a U2 song every year. People hate Coldplay. People hate Coldplay. People hate Coldplay.
Not the biggest fan.
I understand. Honestly, even though you look like the guy. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Is that like, I don't know which guy?
I'm just joking. Nah.
Am I yellow?
Yeah.
This is like the one song I know.
You see, everyone knows a Coldplay song.
Yeah.
You know, one of them.
Like, shout out to that. That, like, I can respect that. No matter hate them or love them, like, you know them.
And you know them. You know them. Yeah, you know them. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to them. But I love all 80s pop and rock from there. So AC/DC, Aerosmith, Billy Idol, Phil Collins.
I love that. Like that era of synth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my shit. That's my shit over there. Everything over there. Love is a Battlefield. You know what I mean? Take Me On.
You can't get not hyped.
All of that.
Battlefield.
Oh, yeah, come on. I'm just saying that's my shit. All of that 80s music. Because a lot of my movies I used to love, like Pretty in Pink and what's that one? Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? And those and Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know what I mean? Like all of those are like classic '80s movies that I liked. I liked because my mom liked them. My mother watched those. My mother wanted to expose. My mother exposed me to some '80s movies growing up. You know what I mean? And that's why I liked them. You know what I mean? But anyway, what you call it? How was Detroit/Michigan changed to you growing up? And how old are you, by the way?
God, I'm at the age where like I have to think about it. But
Oh my God!
Yeah.
When I was born, no.
Many moons.
Many moons. But now, how?
I just turned 32.
32. Oh, dope. In June, you said?
Yeah. Karl Malone number.
June when?
20th.
June 20th. Wow. So you just made it.
Cusp of magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Just.
I'm in between, buddy.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's
I had
crazy.
to, you got to know all this shit these days.
Yeah. All right, so I'm 69 all the time. You know what I mean?
Hey, cancer boy.
Nah.
Wait.
The 6th month and the 9th day. So it's June 9th.
Okay.
69. Yeah. Nah. I mean, we out here.
I thought you were like the astrological sign for Cancer.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's where
true.
I am.
You're right. You're right.
'Cause I'm in the middle.
You right there. What you call it? But yeah, how has Michigan / Detroit changed for you growing up over?
I guess can I really say because I don't know what it'd be like anywhere else.
Like how is it? Like is it
Yeah.
Is it more safe? Is it less safe? Is it more? How are the businesses? Are there more businesses or less businesses? Are there less of the businesses you used to love as a kid? Are they still here?
I feel kind of lucky that I've seen a lot of the shifts around here. Mm-hmm. Like I was coming down here before they were rebuilding the Cass Corridor. So seeing all of the changes and whatnot has made me have to process my feelings on the world as well. Okay, is this the greater good? Even though I just want to be a fucking hoodlum and run around abandoned buildings. All right.
But you feel some type of way about them coming in some areas.
Yeah, and I'm not the most informed. I would never claim to be an expert on why or who is changing things, but I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I just hope it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I've heard different things about but Detroit is an odd city in the way that it was really America's first great city because of the automotive and the business and how it transformed transportation and and also the Motown at the time and
God bless Motown.
It was at one point it was the center of the culture, the budding of new music, the budding of new technology, the budding of new industries, the most richest. Like Detroit was it.
Yeah.
And it had been built like such. The place where my mother bought her house in Boston Edison is a beautiful neighborhood with nice big houses all up and down the street and with nice big lawns. Just some
My car got stolen in Boston Edison.
My uncle's car got fucking stolen in Boston Edison.
We're talking,
and there's been a string of break-ins in Boston
2013.
Edison.
But
yeah,
of course you're gonna break into the rich house. Duh.
Sick of it, fucking sick of it. But honestly, how it's set up is really messed up because Boston Edison. When I tell you that there are, and I've been meaning to do it, and I honestly need to do it before summer's over because it's in bloom right now. And Boston Edison, when it's in bloom, is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to get my drone, and I wanted to fly over Boston, go up and down some of those Chicago and Arden Park, and go all up and down because it's beautiful. But there's some legitimate. When I looked up on Google, you almost can't believe it. I remember when I had my friend came here from New York, and I had him walking down the blocks. You know what I'm saying? He was walking down Chicago, and I was like, "Yo, according to Google, this is a fucking 10, 12,000 foot mansion right there." You know, like this Google telling you, like you go argue with Google, dog. It says it's 18,000 square feet, dog. It's a certified mansion, dog. 18,000 square feet is right there. It's 3 blocks from my mom's. I'm just saying that's a certified mansion.
Yeah.
The lawn is this. You could park four school buses on that lawn, dog.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like big lawn.
Like there's like a lot of hidden neighborhoods like that around here.
But all the neighborhoods around that house I'm talking about though got all the gas stations got crackheads. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. All the gas stations though around Boston Edison got crackheads, which is crazy to me.
Because it's right at the north end, and like the north end used to be. I guess like I'm not around there anymore.
Yeah.
But it used to just be like I was just looking at a house there to buy in like 2012 or so.
Yeah.
And like you go in and there's just no drywall, all the pipes are gone.
Yup.
Yup,
which is crazy because I always joked about
the
that.
house was like $5,000. So like
but because my mother bought her house in Boston Edison. It was in 2014, and the house was like 4,500 square feet roughly.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice space.
In 2014. Because we came from New York, right? And it's hard to buy a house in New York. So she bought it for $40,000 in 2014. And that's with with a deed. It's not a mortgage, right?
Right. Like just bought that shit.
Bought that shit. $40,000 in 2014. Zillow has it at about $400,000 worth of value right now.
Oh,
you know,
fucking swoosh for your mom.
Yeah, that was a win. That was definitely a win. That was definitely a win. And
if you need to know the definition of a win, that was.
And I definitely commend her for that. I don't like to give. I mean, I love God, but like some things, I guess I got it because for her to find that from New York, you know what I'm saying? From New York, it was such a crazy, odd story how she found that house. You know what I mean? It's so weird. You know what I mean? Because like. It's like a YouTuber like me, but like it was on a different lane. You know what I mean? She found a YouTuber that was interested in real estate. It was a young black, older black dude, and he was just, and he like had like no subscribers.
And back then, like that was the time to do it.
Yeah, he had like.
I'm so mad I was a stupid ass kid.
Yeah, he had like 700 subscribers. This kid. I mean, this man. He's a man. You know what I mean? Yeah, she paid him to investigate houses for her. So she would find a house because she saw all the bad stuff about Detroit, but she saw the property value was low. And she seen the house. She was like, so there's a YouTube video somewhere of that YouTuber, that dude, shout out Shay, you know what I mean? And he was like, I'm looking at this house, and it's the exact house that she ended up buying. Damn. You know what I mean? Coming here and bought the bitch, you know what I mean? So it was crazy. And shout out to Detroit because it's such a resilient city. You know what I mean? I hated Detroit when I first got here. When I first got here, I almost moved back. Because my friend, he had like a house in upstate New York, and he worked at a factory in upstate New York. And he was like, I could probably get you a job in this factory I work in, and this house I live in got an extra bedroom, so you could probably. It was a real proposition. He's like, dog, I could get you. You just moved out of like you could come to upstate New York. You could work, build up. You know what I mean? You could get your own spot. You could just get experience. You know what I'm saying? You can and I was about to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, it's upstate New York, but that's only a 2-hour drive from my home, like New York City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's New York City. That's
What
like,
you know, what you grew
that's
up
like
with.
that's like a little piece of Michigan above New York, right
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? So I was like, I was about to do it, and my mother was like really mad at me, like really against it, because we had just moved here. And she was like, I don't know. It was like a whole thing. It really was a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about me. I'm gonna talk about me. Anyway,
It's interesting, yeah.
what you call it? Well, when did you first start? When did you first start cooking?
Shit. Like professionally, 2010, 2011. Green as fuck, you know. I was always interested in it, so I was looking at Schoolcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go there.
You said what? Sorry.
I was looking at going to Schoolcraft for their culinary program, which is like, you know, it's pretty fucking good. You know, it's not like the best of the best, but people know what the fuck it is. You know, they have
they earn some respect.
couple master chefs there, like actual like fucking G's. You know,
chefs.
yeah,
Wow.
like you know, pass the test and everything.
Wow.
And you know, life happens, and you know, so it was just like me and my mom up here, you know, and like she was kind of like dealing with shit. So then, like, all right, well, like, just gotta get cash. Sorry, like I'm also like bad at just talking about myself, so like I'll get better. But
not bad. Yeah. So you went. You said you passed the test. You know what I mean? So you said, did you go to Schoolcraft, or did you end up?
No. So you know, mom needed help with bills, so I was like, all right, like just get a job. And, like I was landscaping, but that was seasonal, you know. So like, okay, like I wanted to move out as well, so came down, lived in Hamtramck, and started. I had a friend who was working at Traffic Jam at the time. I was like, yo, give me a job. Got me a job. And luck of the draw, because I guess it wasn't up to me, but, you know, it was either like work front of house or back of house. And the owner, Carolyn, she just like took one look at me. She's like, yep, you're going to be in the back. And I was like, thank God. Like, you know, because that's like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know how you became a chef at the time, but like literally, I didn't fucking know.
What was your first job in a restaurant?
Like line cooking and dishwashing at Traffic Jam.
Wow. Wow.
They threw me. I don't know. This is like probably throwing a little shade at them, but my first station there was the microwave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But like for real, like it was like a microwave Garmo station. So like they had 3 fucking microwaves, and like they made their cheese fresh, you know, but like it was shredded, so then you had to like melt it down in the microwave for the nachos, like, you know, so you were playing that, you know, and you ran like the steam table.
They definitely had that in the back.
Yeah, like, you know, like
that was not an open kitchen restaurant for sure.
No,
for sure in the back.
Like
3 microwaves in the stage for sure.
You know, now that I know more, I'm like, damn, it feels like I was just kind of working at like an old folks' home. You know, like,
I respect that. My first job ever, I used to joke about it, 'cause I still love this place. I want to go back to this place and turn up. I swear to God, when I go to New York, I'm going to go to this exact place, and I'm going to spend a ridiculous amount of money for my standards. And I'm going to love every single minute of it, because it's a beautiful place, and I had bad memories there and good memories there. And I used to love the owners, and then I hated the owners, and then I grew up and I loved the owners, even though they probably all hate me. I don't care. I don't care. But it was my first job ever. It's Shiraz Wine Bar in Queens. You know what I mean? And it had like a little beer garden in the back. You know what I mean? Where it was, think of my parking lot right here. You know what I mean? With how that is. You know what I mean? But without the black stuff, so just like straight rocks, and then picnic tables on top of the rocks with little stones with pathways, right? Partially covered, but partially also not covered under the moon or the stars, right? And it had a projection wall back there, so they used to project movies back there.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? So so those times, and Rockaway in Queens, where it was at, is like 3 blocks from the beach, like the real beach, ocean water. So Rockaway is like a beach town. You know what I mean? Like a peninsula. It's like not a beach town, but like it's very heavily. The beach is.
It's right there.
I lived there for like 6 years, 7 years, and I was like 3-4 blocks from the beach at all times. You know?
Oh man,
beach is right there. You know what I mean? So, watching the movies there under the stars sometimes with a little ocean smell. You know what I mean?
Oh, that sounds magical.
It was nice, and of course smoking a little weed out there
Yeah.
sometimes. Some of the guests would smoke weed every once in a while, like because
Was it legal at the time?
No. So there was every once in a while it would just happen a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But come on, it's New York, all right? Mind your
You
business.
know, sometimes
okay?
a skunk would just run by.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what I'm saying, right? You
Yeah.
know, and I remember being a dishwasher there, and when I first started, and watching Scarface there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because Scarface was on one night on the projection on the wall, and I was like, "You see, Scarface's first job was a dishwasher too." when he got here, you remember that,
Dude,
right? Scarface.
He was rocking the hairnet, right?
Yeah, he was talking shit, right? But he was a dishwasher.
Or his boy was rocking the hairnet. One of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I just remember it being funny, man.
Oh hell yeah!
So shout out to Sarah's Wine Bar, man. I gotta get back there one time just to turn up, man. But yeah, I started as a dishwasher, and then I ended up the prep cook over. That's the first time I was preparing dishes for other people.
Right.
There was it was exactly like the station that like with the built-in countertop with the fridge with the opening. You know what I mean? Like it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Except it was just salad. We had an open face balsamic mushroom sandwich on sourdough bread with goat cheese and arugula, and it was good actually. You know what I mean? Because it was tasty. It was a big ass portobello mushroom, like the size of my hand for real. Like so, it was fleshy because it was so fat and big. You know what I mean? How big the mushroom was. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's big as fuck. You know what I mean? So shout out to that. And what you call it? I was damn near running the place. There was the first when I had there. Every Sunday was my day. So that Sunday, for like 2-3 months, that wintertime, because wintertime is less people, because obviously it's beach.
Everywhere.
It's the beach, and also like it's colder out there. The wintertime get colder, and it's right by the beach, so it's more snow.
Yeah.
Whatever. So Sundays I would come in, I would literally open the place, and be the only person there all day. So I was making the drinks. It was making the beer and the wine. I was making the drinks. I was making all the food. I was waiting all the tables. I was the only person there, and it was like a decent amount of people there and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's fucking cool though.
But yeah, I was doing everything but and then they let me control the music.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I had the music all day, and my favorite part, which really motivated me, which they took away the second. Even though I was moving to Detroit anyway, the second winter, so I wasn't gonna do it anyway. They let me get 10% of sales.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, all right.
No, money is the motivator.
I was
come on now.
I was like, all right, now I'm gonna try to get everybody.
People don't want to work anymore.
I'm upselling everything. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get as much on the books, because I'm every $10 I get $1.
I was like, hey man, you need help? I'm good.
I got this, and I started running that bitch. It was a good time. You know what I mean? My question for you is 3 things you wish you would change about the restaurant industry.
Oh shit. Man, there's so many ways you could go with that. The pay for everybody, you know, like
The pay needs to go up.
yeah, for everyone, man. Like, but I guess you could say that about everything these days, you know.
I understand that.
But I think it's always been a neglected area. They used to be able to get you with the whole like, oh, aren't you passionate about it?
Yeah.
You know, like shit, man.
Not the passion.
Yeah, one of my first gigs.
That's crazy.
Like real, like solid. Oh, we're actually cooking gigs, not like microwaving or, you know. I guess like I worked at a Coney before that, and like that's cooking, but like you know, like you'll get your speed up working that shit. But yeah, like, man, I got to like what I perceived as like a real, like, you know, decent, like respectable restaurant again. Like, because Traffic Jam, you know, they're respectable. Like they were.
I've never been there.
Before the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they hired me at like $10 an hour.
That's crazy.
You know, I mean, like minimum wage was like $7 at the time, but like, you know, still.
Are you expecting to raise? Do you know that Michigan raised minimum wage by 2025 is supposed to be $15 an hour?
Yeah, I think they shut that down, didn't they?
No, not that passed. I think. I hope it passed.
I hope it did. Yeah.
I mean, I was seeing that it had passed. Man, come on, don't do me like that. But yeah, how do you think that affects us? Do you feel like that we should get that would result in us getting a raise in that having that had gone up?
No, I think it actually will probably affect the people that should get raises. Because then they have to pay people that they would bring in at lower than like 15. They got to pay them 15.
Damn. So you don't think we're gonna get the benefit from that?
I wish everyone could get the benefit.
I thought that the way I looked at it was like it's gonna raise the floor, so like
the ceiling should go up, right?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it would like.
I think it might just sandwich it. Sometimes
I don't want to do sandwich. That's terrible.
Yeah, no, that's a shit sandwich.
Yeah, that's a shit sandwich for sure. Shit sandwich.
But that's more of a pessimist outlook, I guess.
Oh man.
I think there's just like a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
Because like you can instantly say like, yeah, everyone should make more money. Like, hell yeah. But how does everyone make more money?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, like, there's definitely some clear ways. Like, maybe the distribution gets shifted.
I've racked my brain in so many ways about how to make more money. You know what I mean? So many ways. You know what I'm saying? And
you got to.
And it's hard for me because I'm not good at math. You know what I'm saying? And cooking, I fuck with it. First of all, cooking is something that I respect because everyone in the entire world respects cooking, because cooking is a universally, you can go to any country and be like, hold on a second, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Watch me do this. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even have to speak the language much.
Put it in your mouth. You know what I mean? And you'll understand that I know what the fuck I'm doing. I can tell.
It's a universal language.
Yeah, I can tell just by how all I gotta do is watch you cut an onion, and I can tell how long you've been cooking in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like at this, because I see these guys like fucking ninjas with these knives, and there's a reason why I never bitch over my pay, because I don't know. I have a respect for people that are real chefs that are really put the time in, and I can see the expertise, and I can see how they do it like it ain't shit too. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, man, I ain't fucking with y'all for real. I ain't mad at y'all. Yeah, I got it. You know what I mean? But the thing about cooking is like, I appreciate it because every time y'all learn something, every time I learn a new technique or a new flavor or a new way to do something, that is going to benefit me for life. Forever, because I gotta make meals to live.
It's something you can always be learning.
Yeah,
the minute you think you know it all, like, well, you don't.
You don't.
Even like those master chefs at school crap, like they're master chef. Like that means you know a lot. But, like I'm sure most of them are humble enough to like they don't know it all. Like,
you got to keep learning.
Yeah, you go to some like grandma's house in Vietnam. She's going to school you on like their cuisine.
Exactly.
You might be able to hang, with like your like knife work and technique, but they know what they're doing.
But they know the flavors
and you can just learn and like you gotta love learning, right?
You gotta love learning. I love learning. You know what I mean? And everything I learned in that kitchen is one of the things that kept me working. You know what I mean? Especially when it let me.
It's motivating almost.
Yeah. And I plan to buy all of those bowls. I never wanted to buy the same way how like when I spent 2 years working at Lowe's, and working at Lowe's made me know all the things I wanted to buy for my house, because I used to see so much home shit. I'm like, yeah, I want that for my house one day, that for my house one day, that for my house one day. I got to make that happen.
Fuck yeah.
And now when I'm in the kitchen all the time and I'm cooking, I'm like, yeah, I need that. I need these like that. Like the idea of me now having, because right now I got a little kitchen island I'm building, right? A little island. I got to put it together with my little drill, right? I got to put that together, and then I'm gonna put some, like, I gotta get a countertop cooking, a couple things, so I can make some dishes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like a little prep station.
Yeah, I got one big ass air fryer type oven type thing. You know what I mean? I got a regular oven thing, and I'm gonna get a couple things, but yeah, I need the bowls where I can mix the ingredients, the shit. I need the shit y'all got. I need a food processor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can do a lot with that. Like
All the stuff that we
blender
have.
will get you there.
Yeah, yeah. All the stuff that we have in my restaurant, I'll be looking at like I need a miniature version of a lot of this. I want to make like a, the only reason I didn't get it, only reason I didn't buy an actual deep fry is because of health reasons. You know what I mean?
No, to like have that like readily available.
Yeah, but you could buy a one basket.
Oh yeah,
a one, and it can do everything that the full one can do.
Yeah.
It's just one basket.
Well, and like, dude, you can do like real cool shit
Bro.
with that. Like, put like duck fat in there instead,
Bro.
or like the
There's
beef tallow.
much shit I could do if I had one, and I wanted to have.
You got to get one for here, actually. Just like, that's the background noise. Actually, it's just deep frying.
Yep,
Like, I'm hearing some noise.
Yep, that's another thing too. Like my vision for business and things like that, and how I want to coincide so many things, because like I'm gonna own a food truck one day. I'm gonna partner with a real chef. I don't know who yet. I don't feel like I don't know who. I don't know who yet. I don't know who, but I know I can't be the person running the food truck because I'm gonna be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So I want a real chef. All I know, the only thing I ask is that there's some Jamaican things going on the food truck. That's all I ask. You know what I mean? Because I want the food truck to have eventually a sister brick and mortar restaurant. You know what I mean? But they're not. They don't need it. They don't. But the food truck first. The food truck first.
I worked for a place that went brick and mortar. That was brick and mortar and had a food truck. Like worked on the food truck.
Yeah.
Food truck. They're cool.
Yeah. Because the way I look at it is like my production company is like eventually gonna have. I'm gonna be shooting on like a little set, or I'm gonna be shooting a music video somewhere, or I'm gonna be covering a festival, or covering like a draft day. I've did that, like Hash Bash. I went to Ann Arbor and I had my drone over Hash Bash, and I was doing street interviews with vendors at Hash Bash. You know what I mean? And if I had a food truck, you know what I mean, or if I was throwing a regular party, or even here. Like here, I'm allowed to throw. I could rent out that space for an event truck, for event space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought about
pull the food truck in the parking lot.
Yeah, pull a food truck up. So I want to, because
like you were saying, you're always thinking of the future.
Detroit has a party scene. Detroit has a event scene and different things like that. Where
it's an event-driven city.
Exactly.
There's got to be something going on.
Yeah, like the food truck can try to make his business on its own as a food truck. It's
mobile. It can go to the events.
Try to find, but also I could utilize it as a brand to bring it that taste of food to wherever I am. You know what I mean? Because everywhere I am, where I have people at gathering, they need to eat. You know what I mean? So if I partner with a food where I'll help fund it, you run it, you do everything. But every once in a while, I'm like, hey, can you pull up to this event? Can you pull up to this event? And also, I offer a lot of production marketing with like the drone footage of the events, the photography and everything. So I feel like I can offer enough of value to someone who doing the front end of the food truck thing. You know what I mean? Where I'll pay them a lot of money. I'll do a lot of the marketing. I'll have a couple events to bring you to, which will help with your word of mouth. You know what I mean? I'm building my brand, and you being associated with my brand will help build that brand to build into it. You know what I mean? I can see how it could work. You know what I mean? And I love food. And I personally feel like Jamaican food sells everywhere. I feel like Jamaican food, like I'm a Jamaican, all right. I was born in Brooklyn. My family's Jamaican. I feel like Jamaican food, if done right, could sell almost anywhere in the world. They'll come and buy good Jamaican food. Jamaican food, I think, is enough known on the culinary world. Now, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, they sell Jamaican jerk spice, like,
Yeah.
around the world,
Yeah.
you know? And, like, yeah, I'm sure that spice is probably bullshit, you know? But, like, you know.
They tried their best.
But I'm saying, like, you know, the
Jamaican
culinary scene, it has its own spice label.
It's known,
you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's the Jamaican taste is known around.
Actually, I tried to use that, like, on some fucking
and jerk chicken, I always jerk chicken and jerk pork, especially jerk pork, but jerk chicken too, because I've spent a couple. Well, my dad's Jamaican. I spent a couple summers in the Cayman Islands, a couple summers in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like full 2 months in. That's why I say I respect the 2-3 months because like
Yeah, it's not a vacation.
I've spent
You're living there.
Yeah, I've spent like about 3 or 4 summers with my dad in the Cayman Islands. One of them was in Jamaica when I was real, real young. But a whole summer is like 2 months. You know what I mean? If you spend a couple of them, that's months. That's like 6-7 months living in Jamaica, split up in a couple times. You know, in your youngest time, and that's in your youngest, most impressionable ages. You know what I mean? So I remember. I'll never forget. I was with my dad. He was driving on this road. It was like a two-lane road. One lane on it, one looking that way, and a guy with a wife beater on that was black, with half his belly hanging out the bottom, with some shorts on that was done with his legs on, with some leather sandal looking shits. You know what I mean? With a smoker that was the size of this table lengthwise. You know what I mean? A big ass smoker. I remember it was like a big ass grill looking. It was bigger than him. For sure, like he could have been put on that grill. You know what I mean? And I remember my dad was driving his construction van, pulled over to the side of the road. You know what I mean? And I stayed in the car. He went across the street to homie. You know what I mean? He got some shit. He came back. It was just a styrofoam thing. I opened up, was nothing but jerk pork. It was nothing but like a pile this high of just jerk pork. He handed it to me and gave it to me. And then I kept driving, and I opened it up, and real jerk chicken, every jerk chicken that I've ever gotten in Jamaica and in the Cayman Islands has always been dry, as in like dry rub. Which is why I always feel some type of way. The moment I get a wet, I understand we love saucy shit in America, but the moment I get a wet
lemon pepper wet,
the moment I get a wet dry jerk chicken where they do that the sauce, I'm like, it's probably gonna taste good, but that's not how. Because you got to think, right? Jamaicans, they always working hard, right? So they can't afford for their fingers to get all saucy. Yeah. You think they could eat jerk chicken mad saucy and then go back to work immediately? When they got to deal with all of that, and they just running water all the time. Like nah, they a lot of the food is dry, but it's flavorful as fuck, and the meat is juicy. So even though I say it's dry, it's not dry. I was eating
the meat
that shit.
Isn't.
It was so fucking good, bro. And I remember eating that shit. It was the flavor on it was just in it. It was just hot and warm and just tasty. I was like, this is everything. And that like imprinted on me in my head, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
That jerk pork at that young age. I was like maybe
those spices that like give you a hug.
Yeah, you know, I was like 7, 8.
Hot, but like it ain't. It's not like mean hot. You know?
Yeah, it was so good. You know what I mean? And I was still searching for that flavor. So whenever I taste it, I could tell that they're getting close, but. You really got to smoke that shit. You can't add smoked flavor.
Oh,
you really just got to
like
smoke that shit.
That whole, they got that one technique where they dig the hole, you know, and then like they smoke it underneath some leaves. Like,
yeah.
I really want to try that. Like, yeah. But like, I also don't want to be that guy in my backyard that's like, I was like, what are you digging that hole for?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put a pig in here.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's a real way to that pit.
But like, yeah, that's so badass.
That's just bad. I've always wanted, that's always wanted to do that. You know?
Yeah, I guess like, a lot of that, like they had to like hide the smoke for something, you know, like from the colonizers and shit.
They did.
Like,
they had to hide it. You know what I mean? But
turns out it's flavorful.
It is flavorful. So much like for example, like they say that about ribs in America, right? They say that they say it was back in slavery times. That they would eat all the rest of the pig. Or whatever,
it was like the fucking scraps.
And they gave the ribs to the slaves. You know what I mean? And the slaves was like, "Ha, let me show you what I'm
sucker.
Let me show you what I'm gonna do with these ribs. You heard me?" And he started cooking the fuck out of them ribs, dog. And now they're like so much. Like there's like a couple. There's low key a couple American staples of American culinary thing that came straight out of slavery, like came straight
barbecue.
Out of and barbecue and ribs is definitely one of them, dog. The ribs was like the scraps.
Shout out to suffering.
Yeah.
It's a good spice.
I'm telling you, what you call it? That's one of my favorite. You know, y'all canceled him, but I used to love Louis C.K.
I think he's okay now. I don't know. I don't follow that shit.
I don't know how he is now, but like I used to watch the Louis show.
Yeah,
I used to watch so many of his stand up. I used to love his stand up.
Yeah,
and I knew it was borderline. It was great, but the thing is, he had this one bit when he was like, I call it the but maybe premise. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He was like, sure, human suffering and slavery is bad. It's bad. So he was like, but maybe everything that we admire most in human existence was made from human suffering. You know
That's
what
what I was trying to get. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
you
he
know?
was like, but maybe also, you know what I mean? The pyramids, that's a lot of human suffering. You know what I mean? like the Great Wall of China, that's a lot of human suffering.
Yep.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like,
they use like the bodies as like the mortar.
exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean?
But
So
like, you know, you got to shout out to like the human perseverance. They're like,
yeah.
oh, you think you're giving us scraps? Well, guess what? We're gonna make that shit tasty as fuck.
The best. You know what I mean? It's a fucking delicacy now. You know what I mean? Not because of how we did it. You know what I mean? So I respect the hell out of it. You know what I mean?
Like
For
barbecue is like a whole other world. You
It
know,
is.
like I can grill something, but like barbecue, like, you know.
It's a different thing, you know, because growing up in New York, I don't know why, whatever the case is, but my mother was always a gas grill person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So growing up, my
It's
experience,
easy, you know. You turn it on.
my experience with grilled food was always gas grilled food. Like when I say always, I mean pretty much always. Outside of that, maybe that's why I enjoyed that because I know that wasn't no gas. I was definitely charcoal when he was making that, smoking and making that pork. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. I just didn't realize it at the time. But yeah, gas grill growing up. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I moved to Michigan, myself and here, and I started cooking myself, and I had to buy my own grill. And I realized that the gas grills cost a lot, so I was buying like a little, when I say $60 little grill, you know what I mean?
The low
like,
boy on the ground?
Yeah. Right. It was like a little below the waist. It was a little below the waist.
Okay.
It wasn't all,
you sprung for the medium package.
Yeah, the little medium package. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the ankle boy, ankle boy. You could get those for the now. It was like a little, it was
Dude,
like.
I fuck with the ankle boys.
It was almost respect. I had my homie at the time because I was at Lowe's when I was working at Lowe's and I bought it.
Hell yeah.
We before I took it out the place, we used the drill that we have there to do shit. I drilled a hole in it, in the front of it so that I can install the thermometer.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it was like a $50, but I drilled a hole in it and installed the thermometer. I was like, I upgraded this bitch. I was like,
already,
they got a thermometer now. They didn't have that before. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, so. But that was my first time cooking with charcoal. You know what I mean? And I realized that charcoal is like a seasoning all by itself. Bro.
Yeah.
Charcoal, it was different. My hot dogs was tasting good. Everything was, because the charcoal was just good. But also realized that charcoal was a different animal to work with heat-wise. I still struggled with, I had to get what I call a chimney starter. You know what I mean? First off, the first time using charcoal, I used half a bottle of lighting fluid. You know what I mean? I was like, trying to light this bitch. I feel
like if no one shows you, like,
I'm lighting it. It's lighting up, but then it's like going down. Yeah. It's like the heat is like not doing what I want. It's finally catching heat after half a bottle of you lighting the light.
Once it's
finally,
actually warm.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I could cook on it. Then I finally but once I got the chimney started, I could just I put the charcoal straight in there, a little cardboard, like it. And does everything that I toss in there. It's ready to go. You need a chimney starter to cook with charcoal. You need a chimney starter. Get yourself a little. It just works. It works great, dog. You need it. You know what I mean? Once I started doing, I cooked the best.
It definitely, just makes your life easier.
It does. It does. And then I started cooking these artery clogging, but I love them ribeye steaks. I cooked, and I like cowboy cut ribeye steaks. They gotta be cut
like the 2-inch.
They gotta be. They gotta be. Because one time I went to Whole Foods and I got this really organic one for $10, and it was like this thin. And it did this thing where it goes like that on a grill. Is there a way to stop that? How do you stop when it not folded, but there's a little curl up, that little fucking.
Yeah.
Do you got to put something on it to stop it from doing that?
I mean, you can, but let's just control your heat. Like, you know,
it's too high heat.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
A little bit.
Okay.
Or you can just like have it fucking ripping hot, and then when you get it on there, it just.
I guess because it was so thin. I also overcooked it just a little bit. You know what I mean? But I also had to learn how to cook that rib because
because like the fat's shrinking up on you. You know?
Yeah.
Like
you got to get to the middle of that. That when it's a thicker cut one. A couple of times I thought it was Gucci, and I even put the temperature on the meat thermometer, and I thought the meat thermometer was Gucci, and still the middle of it was still like, nah, we still moving.
Oh, you got to go through, you know, like through the side, not the top.
Oh, the side. The
Yep.
side, so I get more of the meat.
Yep.
Oh, so
Gotta
with a
get that
steak,
meat, bro.
I go in through the side and not the top. The top only gives me a little.
Yeah.
I get more of the meat thermometer touching the actual.
Yeah. More
See, the more you know, going through the
it's the little things.
side.
Right?
It's the. I never went in through the side. I always went in through the top. Wow. Okay. Heard. I'm definitely. I cannot wait because right now what I'm gonna end up with in my apartment is like a tabletop griddle type thing, like you know what I mean, like electric.
Yeah.
Like,
Those fuck.
So like I was gonna get like a Ninja one. I was gonna get a George. Wasn't gonna get a George Foreman one. But either way, it's gonna be like a non-stick with like the grill. Yeah, George Foreman, the gym. But either way, I was gonna get one like a table, you know, like a countertop type
Dude,
one.
I just lived off a George Foreman grill when
You
I lived
did?
in Hamtramck.
You
Like,
did?
like,
Does it?
straight
Because
up.
I had a shorty one time cook me some chicken off of there one time,
Yeah.
and
You can
bro,
do
it.
it.
Tasted fucking like grilled chicken, dog.
Yeah.
It tasted like grilled chicken. It was pretty damn good.
Flavor that knocks you out.
Yeah, for real. He's so silly. You definitely fell for the marketing. But yeah, well,
No, it was like the guy who owns the house, like the kitchen in our unit wasn't like built up yet. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. That's why our rent was so low.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I just had a George Foreman. Like, you know, you want hot food? There's George.
Hell yeah. George Foreman would do it, bro. I've definitely seen the work being done. So I was gonna buy one of those
flat tops
and a
like,
couple of
they're
electric.
so
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Even though I would rather gas, but because of how I'm doing it, it's almost like I don't get something. But what I'm going to use is a lot of infrared thermometers and meat thermometers, so I always know what temperature I'm at. So at least I know what temperature I'm at. I know I'm cooking it good. You know what I'm saying? But
eventually, like you can just use your hand.
yeah, I hate these chefs. I hate them. I hate them. They're so. You know what? I talked to my other homie.
Well, it's
Art
more just
about-
like, okay, will hurt, won't hurt.
Yeah, I talked to
You
this
know?
my homie Art one time about this because I take it for granted. But I be watching y'all when y'all cook the pasta sometimes as if like I'm gonna learn how to cook it by watching them. But I learn a little bit. But I just learn how much I don't know because like I never see y'all ever. I don't think I've ever seen any of y'all ever set a timer for that pasta. Y'all get an order for it. Y'all just take the pasta and just start tossing it in that bitch. Every one of them just starts tossing the pasta in the bitch like yeah. And then they start making it with a little garlic and other shit, right? And I'm thinking in my head like, I've made macaroni and cheese before and made lasagna when you gotta cook the pasta, and I'm constantly checking how long I gotta, and they just doing it, and then they go check it. Like I swear he just picks it up, bounces it a couple times, looks at it like look good, just bam, it's in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of it. If it looks good,
it looks good.
It'll change color on you a little bit.
It'll bounce it and just get it in there, and it be
It's
coming
the
out.
nuances, man.
It be coming out fire, and I be like, dog. I would have ate half of that pasta just trying to taste it. It's a little like, no, not good. Little, no, You know?
Yeah, like I touch it, you know. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta like give it the little poke. But.
Yeah. That's like when he told me like like when like right now I do the sausages, right? And I personally would need a meat thermometer, but I got a little better with the sausages just because I remember telling him like when you touch it, it should be like tight. It should be kind of tight when it's done. You know what I mean? Like showing like a little bit of give, not too much give. When you hit it when it's cooked, the sausage, you know what I'm saying? I'm a meat thermometer guy. Even when I cook the best steaks I ever had,
You can't knock them.
The meat thermometer. I'm a meat thermometer.
Even
guy.
like if you're cooking professionally, like use a meat thermometer.
I'm a.
Then
meat
there's no
thermometer
argument.
guy. Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like I want to when I first. I'm eventually get one too. Bigger than say too, because like the sour pancake, certain shit. Like I want to know. I just want to know. Even though I've never had a complaint in none of my sour pancakes, I've never had none of them sent back. You know what I mean? But still. You know what I mean? I always worry about that because y'all be like just y'all looking at it, feeling it, testing it, touching it. Y'all just because they're real chefs and I'm not, and then that's the thing.
Oh no, there's no.
They know what they're doing. They've seen enough fucking steak and meat and stuff to just. He's like,
like sometimes like I'm a very how do I like I'm an anxious person, you know, constantly like but like this career, like it works for my mental disorders, you know. Like
it works for you.
Because like I'm constantly, like I'm thinking of like 6 fucking things when like you see me drop something, You know,
Yeah.
like I have a timer going in here. You know,
Yeah,
but like it's a mental timer.
one of the main reasons why I bought this watch right here is for the job, because so many times I set a timer on this watch. Oh, come on, chill. So many times I set a timer on this watch. You know what I mean, to let me know when it's about to like when I'm dropping the Zeppelis, or I'm dropping certain things in the deep fry. You know what I mean, or if I just want to know when an order came in and what time is it right now. They said 8 out when it came in. It came in at 8:50, was 8:54. Now it should be 4 or 6 out.
Oh, those calls don't mean anything, dude.
Yeah, they really do. But that's why that one time it was funny when Chef when I was like 2 out on this, 2 out on that, 2 out on everything, and Chef was like, "All right, I'm setting a 2-minute time." And you just told me 2 out on 4 dishes.
To be fair, we banged that shit out in like 2:15. So.
It was like, all right, 2 out. I knew that shit was gonna run into a wall.
And like that's the thing. Like he just opened his mouth, man. He didn't ask me if that was cool.
Yeah, for real. That's the worst thing too, when you're making a dish and someone else gives the time for the dish you're making. I
mean, you know, there's like I always say, if you got a partner on your station, it's like learning a dance.
Yeah.
You know, so like eventually you do know your partner well enough to like
judge that time
like,
well.
Yeah. I see you just did that, so you're like 90 out. Like,
yeah, but sometimes it'd be like, dog, who the fuck do you think I am? Dog?
Damn, all 4 wheels of that bus just hit me.
For real. You know what I mean? So I love so much food. I don't know if there's a cuisine that I've come across that I don't like. You know what I mean? But I remember the first one that I said the most punch in my face one so far was the first time I had a shawarma.
Oh.
First time I had a shawarma.
Was that in Michigan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why that makes me happy. I'm sorry you hadn't had a shawarma earlier.
No,
that makes me sad.
Michigan was my first time having a shawarma, and
shout out
the garlic, the pickle.
Oh, that garlic sauce!
It was so unapologetic about his presence in your life at that moment when you bit into it. You know what I mean?
It's me or nothing.
You either had to love it or run away from it. You know what I mean? I was just like, bro.
You go like chicken,
flavor,
like
the chicken,
the
chicken
keep
shawarma.
it classic.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. At first, I was like, this is crazy. And then I bit it a couple times. I was like, all right, I fuck with it. I bet took a couple bites.
Oh, I bet you that first bite had like a bunch of pulled up garlic on it.
Yeah. It was the first bite. I was just like, this is a lot. I was like, my whole breath is different. I feel different.
Dude, that
I'm having
sauce
a
is
body
basically
reaction.
like just ground garlic.
Yeah, for
There's
real.
like some more shit to it, but
for real, you know what I mean? I was just like, it was, and I think it was missing the white sauce. I know it's probably not a part of it, the same thing. I don't even know what it is.
You're thinking of the gyro, the ziki?
Yeah. I don't even know what it is really, but I know in New York, when you go to the halal spot, you get the chicken with rice with chicken over rice with white sauce. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a cucumber sauce. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I mean, that's Greek.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, dude. Like, don't hate me, people. I don't know the etymology.
It's halal. It's halal. So I feel like that's Middle Eastern somehow,
they're
right?
Close.
That's what
they're close geologically.
They're right there. You know what I mean? But that white sauce really cools off.
A
lot of it blends. It's not even that. I look at it like their version of sour cream is how I look at it, because sour cream don't even have that much flavor on its own. It's just there to cool off.
Yeah, it's cool and
how much of what's going on. Like the same thing with the nachos. Like it'd be jalapenos and this sauce and that sauce and a whole bunch of shit. And the sour cream is just there to be like, all right, but here's a cool little break for a second on your palate. While you're dealing with all
you
that
gotta
extra.
sometimes do the strategy. You're like, okay, this is an extra sour cream one.
Yeah. I got 2 jalapeno circles on this one. Let me, you know what I'm saying, give me a little balance in there. You know what I mean? So I was just saying that to say, between Japanese food, Thai food, which is, I want to say, no. I did have Thai food one time in New York, I can remember, but not enough to really. When I really started fucking with Thai food is out here. When I really started getting Thai food for myself a couple times. And I honestly have had Thai food a long time. And now that I mentioned, I got to find a Thai food spot because I love it. I never knew I wanted the little fish sauce with the nuts. I never knew I wanted the nuts I never knew with the noodles. I love this shit. I love it. I gotta get. I don't know why I forgot to give anyway.
Oh, dude, like pad thai was one of the first things I learned how to cook.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, some girl just said she liked pad thai, so I'm like, bet.
Wow.
I can do that.
He said I can do that. Yeah, I'm not doing pets.
Oh, dude, nothing to it.
Cooking Thai.
But you know,
food.
like, yeah, some grandma in Thailand, she's gonna school my ass.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but
Cooking Thai. You think you could just cook Thai? If I could cook, I never even thought of cooking Thai.
you give
food,
me a
bro.
fucking trombone, I'll get you a note out of it. You know,
Wow.
like, I'll do it.
All I need is that wok. I just need to buy that wok, and I'm in there.
Oh, dude, that
I don't
wok,
know.
hey, like cooking with a wok's a whole other technique. You know,
Yeah, it's a different. All
how
right.
the heat flows. Like,
But to get to the question, so Japanese food, Thai food, Jamaican food, French, Italian. What's your favorite cuisine?
oh man, you know, I think different categories in my head. Overall,
What's your favorite for breakfast?
I mean, my favorite cuisine I'd have to say is Creole. You know,
Creole, is that Haitian?
it's like New Orleans. You
Yeah,
know,
New Orleans.
It's
Yeah,
just like
Creole. Oh,
the beautiful mashup.
I have.
Like it's
Why
like
you had to pick the one cuisine I don't know shit about? That's
well, it's
amazing.
Like, you know, like French food, meeting the islands, meeting like you know
Yeah.
a bit of Southern comfort, like you know, all just mashed
That's like
up.
that gumbo stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I've never.
That's actually like I have been watching this like chef in Louisiana, you know, and he makes the wildest like trolling shit. You know, he made like a snake burger with donut like buns and shit like that. But yeah, like I've been watching him a lot, and like you know, he's exactly what you want. He's like, come on here. Like,
Come
you
on,
know,
yeah.
come on here. It's gonna be delicious. Like I love like that warmth and like that
Yeah,
like giving.
yeah,
Like yeah.
Uncle, yeah.
Creole's my favorite. Fucking classically, I just love classic French. You know, that's really where I wanted to head when I started. Like, you know,
Yeah.
even thinking I wanted to be like a chef.
I don't know how the. Yeah, continue.
Oh.
I was gonna say I don't know how. I didn't learn this until I really started researching chef shit. I don't know how the French became the top of the culinary world technique wise, but they killed it. They killed it. But chef wise, but honestly, personally, culture wise, I don't have a single memory. And I grew up in New York, all right? I've seen Polish, I've seen Japanese restaurants, Korean restaurants, I've seen Italian, Black, I've seen African, I've seen Ethiopian restaurants, I've seen Jamaican restaurants, I've seen Indian restaurants, I've seen Middle Eastern halal, I've seen Mexican restaurants. You know what I mean? I've never seen, and even to now to Michigan, when I really think about it, even from Armando's to even the different the chefs, the chefs, I don't think I've ever seen a French restaurant. I had to think really hard before I said that.
Oh, buddy, I'll
You know
put
what
you
I
on
mean?
3. Right.
But I don't think I've ever even seen or heard of. I've heard of French techniques. I've heard of French once I look in the cup. But as far as a French restaurant, I don't even know what French food is. When I type in French food into my brain Google, all that comes up is just a dish with a tiny portion. That's all that comes up. I don't even know what the tiny portion is, but all that comes up is a dish with a very, very tiny portion in the middle, and I don't even know what that is in the middle. But like that's all that comes up with French cooking for me. What are there French restaurants in Michigan?
Yeah, there's a couple of heaters. Right.
Like French food. They're
Yeah,
cooking me
yeah.
French food.
Yes.
They promising this ain't French
Yeah,
fries.
you're getting like escargot. Like
That's what that is. Escargot. That snails.
Escargot, yeah.
They're cooking snails as French.
Yeah, you get your frog legs. Like,
Frog legs is French.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have frog legs.
oh, they're good.
I've
dude.
always wanted to
Yeah.
try them.
Like, I'll put you on.
Oh, put me on and go to a
Yeah.
French restaurant. I'm dead ass gonna go, bro. I'm gonna go alone.
Yeah, like I'm a big like foie gras guy, so like there's a
foie
couple
gras.
spots.
I heard that that's like duck. That's like duck, right?
Goose liver.
Goose liver.
Yeah.
I'm going.
And it's like it's a little fucked up how they get it, but like I did my research, you know, because like I'm kind of like a nerd when it comes to like food anthropology. You know, like why is this a dish? Like, you know, like you're saying, like, you know, the ribs. You know,
Yeah.
like I love those stories.
Or
so
the
like,
potatoes and the Irish people.
yeah,
Yeah.
like so I was like, okay, like who the fuck came up with foie gras? Like, because I was thinking it was like some sick psychopath that was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stuff a goose like with food, and like it's like no, like it was actually like Egyptians that taught the Romans that like when geese ate more, you know, and then you ate their liver, it tasted good,
Yeah.
better and better and better. So like people just kept kind of pushing the limits.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, like I don't know why that made me feel better that like it wasn't cruel in how it was invented.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that too. When I learned that about I used to watch a couple documentaries about chefing and different culinary a lot of what's called cuisines from different cultures I've learned is built out of struggle. Is built out of
it's the best spice.
A lot of times that there's some sort of famine or some sort of hardship that comes over the country where they're only able to produce food that is most optimized to grow or being produced in that region. You know what I mean? And then that's when
this or nothing.
And then when they have just the bare bones only ingredients that their exact region can produce, they make the lemonade out the lemons, and then that is what that place's cuisine becomes. You know what I mean? That's like with the potatoes with the Irish people, or with the seafood with the Japanese people with the sea around them. You know what I mean? Or with there's so many examples of like where you have a lot of land, you got grain, you got wheat. You know what I mean? You got land animals like of hardship coming, and you making the best, and then the cuisine rises up out of. With that, they always shit on American cuisine. To be honest with you, I've heard of them shit. They say American cuisine is shitty ingredients in abundance. That's what they say.
If you want it to be,
you know what I mean.
You know, you can find that.
But what is American? I ain't gonna lie. Like American. When I think of American, what do you think of when you think of American? Give me like top 3 or 5 things that are like American dishes. American.
I'm sure, you know, I just said like I love the history of all but I feel like everything comes from somewhere else already. When I think of American food, I tend to think of like more of like the working class dishes, you know, like off the rip, I think pasties. But like we live in Michigan, you know, so like
pasties.
Yeah,
What's
it's
that?
like you know, like those Hostess pies that are like handheld. It's like that, but for dinner.
Okay.
You know, so like, you got like your meat and everything already just in that.
Not a pierogi.
No, it's a bigger pierogi.
A bigger pierogi.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have never had a pierogi until I came to Michigan. And the first pierogies I ever had, if I remember right, were in the Eastern Market.
Oh, you go to see the pierogi queen?
Yeah, I went to there was the Eastern Market part of it when they had the pierogies
she
down
bad
there.
as fuck, dude.
And they had pierogies with different little flavors in them.
Yeah.
And they got some little varieties.
Yeah, like the OG.
And they were
like,
all fire. I'm
no,
mad I never went back.
they don't miss.
I'm mad I never went back, but like
it's right there.
It was
They're still
so
open.
Fucking good. And from where my podcast,
they're in your local grocery store now in the frozen.
Yeah, they are. They're for real.
Yeah.
Like, my part of my I haven't fully tapped into it yet, but part of my marketing ideas or my business ideas was the fact that this podcast studio that we're in is about literally 3 minutes from the farmers market.
Yeah.
You know, the Eastern farmers,
Yeah.
the oldest and one of the biggest. If not, I think it's the second or third or second, the biggest, one of the biggest farmers markets in America. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I think of a farmer, right, I'm like, all right, you want to showcase your farm, perhaps, and also the ingredients that you sell out, and also your philosophy behind the whole operation. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking like a promotional package. I'm like, look, I'll bring you on my podcast. I'll interview you as the head of this whatever vendor operation, do like a blueberry guy. I remember the blueberry guy, do blueberries, right? So boom, I could interview you here, or because I own all this equipment, I could take this to whatever ranch or farm. I could set this up at whatever table you want, and I could do the pod at location.
Get that different like environment.
Also, you own a farm, and guess what? I own a drone. So what is better to capture a whole farm of acres of lands than a drone that I could fly over the whole entire thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can film your entire farm, cut it in with footage in your interview. You know what I mean? And maybe also offer some photography of you and your farm, different things, right? And then you can have a whole bunch of promotional footage about to be dropped and released across the 7 different platforms and different audios and different, because I'm audios on Spotify and different, all of that for your business and your brand and for your farm. You know what I mean? And thousands of people coming across your brand. You know what I mean? In different, in high production ways, looking good. You know what I mean? And I wanted to offer that to a couple of the farmers down there. You know what I mean? I plan to do. I know I got to do like 5 to 10 for free. I already know. It's okay. I'm gonna do my best work possible. I'm gonna wait till I get my camera so I can really do the photography part, right? Because I already got the drone. The drone is lit. The podcast is good. I'm like every pod. I'm telling you, every pod. I'm guaranteeing you 15 to 20,000 views, guaranteed at bare minimum.
Getting it, bro.
Just because of the fact that every pod is guaranteed about 25 clips, guaranteed, and those clips I drop over 7 different social medias. So every time I drop a clip, those same clips you've seen on Instagram, perhaps, they drop on YouTube as a short. They drop on TikTok. They drop on Twitter. They drop on LinkedIn.
Like,
they drop on Pinterest.
Interesting me. Like, I know all of that is so important. I know nothing about it.
You know something else I've just heard about that I haven't tapped into yet, which I'm tentative to drop. Some dude was telling me, not some dude, it was Patrick David. Shout out to him. but he was telling me how this AI now that can take your visual image, whatever, and make it look like you're talking and everything, but like in Russian, in Chinese, in 100 different languages. And he was like how he has his platform also producing in Indian, producing in Chinese. And he's like, you could take, and I was like, I don't know what AI program that is, and I haven't tapped into that yet. But I'm now thinking that this same exact way that I've gotten 500,000 views of posting off these different, I could.
That's a little scary though. Like, how do you know like what they're making you say? Like,
I don't know.
The entire time.
That's
you
a little
know,
scary.
like,
That's a little scary. It is.
Like, you could just be talking shit the entire time.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, this is great.
Exactly. It is a little scary, but at the same time, it's like,
I love like the idea of like being like multilingual.
You could,
like, reaching out
you
like
could
that.
take your,
That's
you
cool.
could take your, because really, I remember when I was first dropping just audio only with this pod. I remember when this pod first dropped, it was audio only. There was no video. So
Right.
all the analytics I was getting was only audio, and I was paying $36 a month for my host, which I still pay right now, who puts me on Spotify and like literally like 20 different audio only platforms. And I was getting listens from Zimbabwe and from France and a couple from Germany, and I was like, how am I getting listens from Germany? How am I getting listens from, how are they? And my distributor was posting to 187 different countries. And I was just thinking there's a language barrier though. And I was like, wow, imagine if, so I was already getting listens from these different countries, even with the language barrier, without it being translated as far as I know. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, if I could get something now I could translate into these different languages, you know what I mean? So I could run in different ecosystems and different economic, and all be collecting money from
I'm
all
all
about
that, like universal language.
All to one, because it's part of my brand philosophy is to be what I notice is like blasphemous. Like only God is omnipresent. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I did want that for my brand to be omnipresent, to be to a degree. You know what I mean? On almost every platform. That's why I posted, like Pinterest. I shout out to my social media manager. Like I would have never posted on Pinterest. I don't even be on Pinterest. I don't even know what the fuck really happens on Pinterest. Only thing I used Pinterest for was recipes. A lot of good recipes on Pinterest. If you want to look good recipes, I do recommend Pinterest for looking up recipes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's very good because people post recipes and then redo recipes or whatever on Pinterest, so you can see how many people have redone that recipe on Pinterest, and you can see if it's a popular recipe, and you can like a lot of the time, like when I first cooked my Alfredo something, I never bought Alfredo sauce. I made the Alfredo myself with the sauces and stuff. You know what I mean? With the cheese. You know what I mean? They made the bechamel, whatever. I still don't know how to say it wrong every time. But anyway,
that was it.
you know what I mean? And what you call it? But Pinterest recipes is one that told me to do that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Pinterest. But my bad, I got. So what was your? Did I ever get your answer for your favorite? You said Creole. Damn. Yeah. I don't know if I had to give a favorite, bro. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased towards Jamaican. You know what I mean? So, but that's not fair. That's the one I'm born with and grew up with, and of course, I'm a fan of. But if I had to give to one other than Jamaican, I'm giving it to the Asians, dog. I know we're supposed to fight China. I know we're supposed to be at war.
Why are we supposed to fight anyone?
I don't know. We're not supposed to fight.
Just eat some good food.
Eat some good food. I'm just saying, like, I love seafood, and
yeah, they crush it.
When it comes to seafood, I almost always go the Asian direction. Like, I've only ever cooked salmon twice, like the big salmon, like the full salmon. You know what I mean? And I went Asian both times, and it was great. You know what I mean? I went Asian with the because Asian with the seafood and what they're doing. Even though I did make seafood pasta, was of course I'm Italian, but the favorite was the pasta. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I just love. I haven't ran across an Asian food. I had pho or pho. You know what I mean? Which is the Vietnamese, which is great.
Yeah.
And low key, I actually liked the pho better than the ramen because I want to say Johnny Noodle King.
Yeah.
I went for the ramen.
Yeah,
you know
that place, like they're good.
Yeah, and they're for some reason the ramen hurt my stomach for some reason. I don't know what it was in there. I don't know if I put too much chili paste or some whatever.
That'll happen.
But something in there just didn't sit right with my
Crumbly in the
stomach,
tumbly.
and it kind of hurt my stomach a little bit. Even though I always wanted to eat Naruto, the little Naruto fruit. When I seen that thing in my little ramen thing, I was like, because I grew up watching Naruto. It's one of my favorite shows ever, and I remember him busting out the ramen all the time with the curry things he would eat with the brown.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, so and it always made me want to eat ramen always, and not the bullshit ramen I grew up eating the ramen noodles, the cup of noodles. Like, nah, I wanted to. So the first time was in Michigan, going out to get real ramen, was Johnny Noodle King in Michigan. My first time getting real ramen.
You picked a good spot. You know,
good. I did a little research, a little bit. You know, I heard it was a good spot. You know what I mean? And even though it hurt my stomach, I still enjoyed it. It didn't hurt till like 20 minutes after when it was just something about it didn't. But in the moment, eating it tasted great. You know what I mean? Experiencing it was. I felt like I was about to go be Hokage when I was done. When I was done, you know what I mean? I felt like running up with some fucking sandals up my mouth or some shit. You know, for really fucking around. You know, but I actually enjoyed pho. Was it pho?
Pho.
Is it pho? I actually enjoyed pho because the place I went to was What the Pho because it was called.
Oh,
because they were playing on What the Pho, whatever. So, I went there and the pho. I actually low key enjoyed the pho more a little bit. You know what I mean? And the pho didn't hurt my stomach, and it just agreed with me. You know what I mean? So, I enjoyed the pho a lot. I really did. You know what I mean? And like I said, from the Thai food to the of course the Chinese food. And you can fucking tempura anything and it'll taste good, bro.
I swear.
You know, you can tempura fucking. I remember they gave me fucking sweet potato, fucking onions, fucking eggplant, whatever. It was great. Tempura with the flaky, it was fucking amazing. I love tempura and sushi and all of that.
So it's so crispy and delicious.
Like I said, the Asians, bro, I have not run across an Asian cuisine that I'm not. Maybe if I eat some rats made by Vietnamese. But even then, I watched some of the. Also, I grew up watching Andrew Zimmerman. I used to love him.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Shout out Bizarre Foods, Andrew Zimmerman.
He's a G.
Him going around, him eating the snake heart beating on the thing, whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah. I want to do that shit.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to eat some of the food that he ate. He's always eating some animal's testicles, like a fucking.
Yeah, like,
I don't know what that's about, like a rooster testicle.
Right? Like, what was the point of that?
Did you watch Andrew Zimmerman?
Oh, yeah.
I always wanted to, but because of that, I don't know, maybe. And also, I'm not. Are you allergic to anything?
No.
Yeah, I always felt like
rules.
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah. I'm not allergic to anything either that I'm aware that I've ever. So because of that, I felt like I'm obligated to try everything because I'm not allergic to everything. Because some people are allergic to things and they can't. explore the fully or enjoy it. You know what I mean? So because I'm not allergic to nothing, like fuck it, I'm gonna try everything. You know what I mean? And there's still some things like hearing the frog legs thing. Yeah, I gotta get to some one of these French restaurants. I got to. You know, and I gotta see what it's like. I gotta see what it's eating.
Yeah, I've never like. There's no like, I don't know, gross out food.
And
like,
Creole, I never had Creole. The closest I got to it was like this place I used to work at. It's not a good example. Whatever. I used to work at Atwater Brewery down there by the River Walk. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they have something I still want to go back and go eat, even though I know certain things about the Bad Kitchen. But still, it's okay. I still want to go back there and try and eat another beer cheese sandwich. You know what I mean? Because that beer cheese burger was like so fucking good.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to mess with the beer cheese burger.
Yeah, they had like the beer cheese, and the meat was like meaty, and they had a Texas toast. It was so good. But they also at one point had this. It was like alligator. I want to say it was. What's that shit? It's like, oh fuck. Give me a New Orleans dish. Is it ragu or no? It's
Gumbo.
Yeah. Is it gumbo? Is it gumbo? It might be an alligator gumbo. Might have been gumbo. It was like meaty though. It was like meaty. It was like as that might have been a gumbo. I want to say it was a gumbo. It was something. I can't remember.
Etouffee?
No. All right, maybe it was gumbo. But it was like alligator. And I know from the back it was like a frozen alligator that they got beaten there. Obviously,
well, it's pretty hard to get fresh alligator, unless you're down there.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen out here. You know what I mean? But
you can get it pretty fresh, but
yeah, that was the closest I had to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like there ain't many good examples around here, you know. But like that's also like a location thing. Like truly, like where you're gonna get fresh alligator.
That's also how I feel about Jamaican food out here. I've been told that I just haven't found the right place, but like I haven't.
But they didn't tell you where the right place was.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you just haven't found it. Like, okay, where is it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll go. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
is it a secret?
Yeah, because as far as I understand, the best Jamaican restaurants I could go to are in Canada. As far as distance wise, you know what I mean. As far as in Detroit, I went to this one place called the Jamaican Pot, and it was like hit or miss because they gave me some rotten rice one time.
Oh, how the fuck you do that?
I don't know, bro. Maybe the coconut milk was rotten. I don't know what happened, but it was bad. And after that, they kind of lost my trust a little bit. Every time I was eating something, I was like a little. I don't know.
Nah, fuck that.
Because I remember my first rhyme learning and cooking in the kitchen was "When in doubt, throw it out." That was
goddamn right.
That was my first rhyme I learned, even in Sarah's wine bars. "When in doubt, throw it out."
Yeah, right. If you got to think about it.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, another question I had for you is, what's your last meal before you die? You're on death row. What's your last meal before you die?
How are they going to execute me?
They are going to chop your head off guillotine style.
I want to eat the guillotine.
What? What type of answer is that? You want?
Then they don't have a guillotine to kill me.
Oh my god! You're gonna eat the guillotine. We're gonna cook down the wood. Like you keep funny as you can't. You want to eat the rope. You can't. You need the rope to do the guillotine.
Yep, like the whole thing. I'll do it.
Oh my god! I think if I had to. I think if I had to pick a way to be executed, I'm going Game of Thrones style. I need the President of the United States or whoever closest, like the attorney, just someone there, all right, with a sword, just fucking
one and done. All right.
I don't want some paid executioner. I want whoever gave or if there's a judge, whoever passed the judgment delivers the execution. But anyway,
I fuck with that. Yeah, fair is fair.
You don't get to sentence me to death and then pawn it off on some. Oh, no. You look me in the face and sentence me to death, and you fucking do it.
Yeah.
You fucking do it. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Oh, no, it's really like that question always pops up in my head, and I don't like answering it, or like really going down that road. Like, it could be anything. Like, probably the heat of the moment. Like, kind of like, all right, I want this. Like,
they do give you that last meal.
Yeah.
I wonder if they make you get a standard meal or whatever you want. Because I always thought of that too, and I was like, man, there's no regular meal I would want, but I would want my favorite things. Like if you could give me like, all right, give me 2 inches of very, very perfectly cooked bacon. Give me like 3 shrimp scampi's. Give me like a fucking 1/5 of a pound of like good ribeye cooked steak. You know what I mean? Give me like
I think like that's what they do,
give me
right?
like a quarter tail of fucking lobster. You know what I mean? Give me like,
you want
give
to
me
be
like
able to eat it all.
one crab claw. You know,
Yeah.
you know that one crab leg. You know what I mean? Like give me like a little bit of all my favorite things to taste. You know, all
Right,
my
yeah.
favorite things to taste. You know what I mean?
Throw like some fried chicken.
yeah,
Gotta have like
some really-
some Italian beef.
Yeah.
Like the sandwich.
Yeah, I would definitely want like some like so you would want like a you would agree like a little mix of
Yeah.
your
yeah.
favorite flavors.
You know?
Yeah. I definitely
If I get the option, might as well take it.
my
Or I'd just be like, fuck you, nothing.
like no, you don't get to say you gave me a good meal.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? You went through all this trouble to feed me good right before you take
Your
me out
wife's
again.
pussy.
Right. Wow. That's what I want to taste
Yeah.
before I go. All right. That's what I want to say. All right. Then I'll go take my.
Yeah. No, I'm better at not shit talking these days.
That's
but,
fucking
yeah.
funny.
But I don't
My
know. You're
last
about to kill
meal
me, so I'm
is-
probably gonna talk some shit. You know?
I'm going out like a G. That's why I always found that funny. Like what you call it? Me and my brother years ago. This is funny. This conversation I think about all the time. We were talking about horror movies. We were talking about because we were watching something and something was happening. People were running away, and all we heard was like girls screaming or whatever.
Right.
And we were always like, and I paused it one time and I was like, why do we never hear the men scream? Why do we never hear like a scared man? You know what I mean? And we were talking about like, I don't know, you never hear that. And we played it again for a second. It's like, you don't hear no men screaming. You hear a bunch of whatever, like a bunch of like different vocals. So I paused and I was like, what would a man screaming sound? I was like, it sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
The problem is it's fucking funny. We started dying laughing. Like, Jesus, help! Oh no!
Yeah,
I was
like, I feel the best you could do is like, fuck you.
yeah,
You
like,
know?
oh my.
Yeah.
But like no,
No.
like a man being scared is like
One of
it's
the
like
most
internet-
unattractive and like
exactly.
least
I'm like,
like,
listen, I know you're about to die. You're literally
Yeah.
about to die, but die with some dignity. Bro.
Yeah.
You can't be dying like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
like yo, dude, at least die like,
Ooh.
at least die like you can't die like that though.
Yeah.
You can't die like, whoa.
please no.
Like you can't die like, I have a family, please. Like, oh my, not
Yeah.
today. like
Oh, that's like, nobody cool dies like that.
exactly.
They probably do. I don't know.
Yeah, none. That once again, Billboard had a really funny skit about that because he was like how he was on an airplane, and it was turbulence, right? And it was like pretty bad turbulence, right? And people were like, and once again, it was girls screaming, whatever. And then he said, this grown man, he said he was holding it together. I was holding it together. I was cool. I was panicking, but I was holding it together. I was in my man. I was in my man frame. I was holding it together.
Right.
Shit was going left. I was holding it together. And all of a sudden, this guy next to me just starts making these bitches. He's like, he's like getting tossed side to side. And he's like, bro, you don't think I feel like that inside? Push it down.
Yeah,
Push it
like-
down. He just started getting, he instantly started getting mad at this grown man going, He was just like,
Right.
he said that shit was the scariest shit he ever seen. It was like a grown man being like, He's just like, no.
For real,
no,
like-
hold it down,
Yeah,
bro.
just
It's not that bad.
Act like
Jesus,
you have it together. Like, come
Jesus
on.
Christ.
All right.
It just pissed him off so much, bro, that he's like in the middle of the shit going whatever, and this one guy next to him is just like totally bitching out. He's just like, no, you hold it together, goddamn it. That's for the women, goddamn. You hold it together.
Right.
Oh, it was so funny, man. That's what worried him the most. The sound of guys going, because that's like funny but low key scary, bro. If you hear some deep voice, like you hear some guy with a deep voice going, "Oh shit, oh no," you don't want to go. Listen, if that guy over there is yelling for help, oh,
You know
no,
what? Yeah,
help.
But if I heard a girl like doing
if
that, I would go check
if it's
it
a
out.
girl yelling for
Yeah.
help, I might be able to address that.
Yeah.
If it's a guy yelling for help, I need to get the
I'd be like, oh no, he's telling me to go.
get the
Like,
fuck out of there. Because his shit is
that's
going
weird,
left.
yeah. don't really think about that much.
That's funny. Yeah, a guy screaming for help versus a girl screaming for help is just it's totally different. It's totally different. It's so funny. You know what I mean? But yeah, well, how do you feel about how tattoo culture has changed? You know what I mean? I remember I was talking to somebody else about tattoos, and he was like, "It's just something to do." He was like, "It's just something to do. You just get a tattoo. It's just like
That's part of it.
I mean, I guess that's what I got my ear pierced. It was just like something to do, kind of. I thought it would make me like a little less ugly. I think to get my ear pierced, that's part of it. You know what I mean? I think it was successful in that respect, even though I don't wear one all the time right now. But yeah,
Well, yeah, kind of hard with headphones.
yeah, right. So how do you feel about how tattoos culture have changed?
I think nowadays it's more just something to do
Yeah.
than what I grew up thinking it was.
What'd you think it was?
Badass. It's just I always like not like one of my earliest memories, but like I remember being in like 5th grade or something. Be like, I want a fucking tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know anything about like the culture, if you even want to call it that. And it always just kept like piquing my interest. So I don't really like want to knock anyone that's into tattoos. You know what I mean? Like if you like it, you like it.
I've had several of those, wet, put on, and you peel off. And as a kid, I've had several of those tattoos, those little peel stick tattoo ones. You know what I mean?
I think they still make those, right?
Yeah, they should. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Those are sick as fuck.
Yeah, I used to love them shits.
Yeah.
You have tattoos.
Yeah, like here's a flaming skull.
Exactly. Like, fuck yeah. You should be able to buy that. I used to be my favorite shit buying them shits. You know what I mean? They got to still sell them. They have to.
Yeah.
They probably give you cancer now. I don't know.
I mean, they probably did then.
They probably did, yeah. That's probably what happened. You know what I mean?
But yeah, like I think, you see like a shift in styles that are like mainstream, and then like also in perception. Like when I first started getting tattooed, like people were still like, I don't know, like that might be a rough kind of dude.
Yeah.
And like, yes, I am a piece of shit. And like, like degenerate. And I love fighting and whatnot. But like, I'm usually nice if you just talk to me.
Right.
Like,
first rule of Fight Club is no Fight Club.
And like I always like personally fucked with like the symbolism behind it all. Like, and that's what like kind of drew me into it. And when I first started into it, like American traditional was like the bread and butter of the industry. It probably still is, it was hard to find anyone else like that was doing something different.
Yeah.
And then you see
American traditional tattoo. How would you describe that?
Very simple colors, very bold lines.
Okay.
Like that's like sailor tattoos.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like that's American traditional. Like you see there's like 2 colors used, black, red.
Yeah.
Like, that's American traditional, black.
I can see that. That's dope. That's dope.
Classic symbolism.
Yeah.
Like, it meant something different for sailors. Like I think you got like swallows tattooed for like a certain amount of nautical miles, like at sea, things like that.
Oh, so there were tattoos you had to earn as a sailor.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think most of them really, and like or they meant something, and then like you look into like Russian prisons that like I really got into like that style of tattoo and like their meaning, and because a lot of them were crime symbols essentially.
Wow.
Like so be careful, kids, if you're getting a Russian tattoo in that vein. Be careful, look up what it means.
Exactly. Look up what it means,
because they'll take it back.
Oh, what?
Yeah. All right. But yeah, like things in that vein were, and I loved like the fact some of those tattoos were just to offend the guards.
Wow.
Like you have to look at this.
Yep.
Doesn't that make you mad?
That's crazy.
But then, all of that, it kind of shifted into like this. Nowadays, I think what I would call like ignorant style.
Yeah.
Not saying that the tattoos themselves are
Or you
ignorant.
could say meaningless or meaningless and like not
To a
as
point,
meaningful.
they seem meaningless.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like people doodling on their skin, or at least to an outsider, you know?
I
And personally, I love it because, like, you know, you get like these like full body skin, like suit dudes that are, oh man, those aren't real tattoos. I'm like, oh, dude, finally tattoos are offensive again.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
finally they make people mad.
Yeah,
You know,
finally. Yeah, it's gonna be a while because they're pretty well accepted right now. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I feel at this point, I don't know how people feel about this. I feel a little crazy saying this, but on the other hand, I stick by it. I almost feel like more of a rebel for not having tattoos with this.
I think
Even at
nowadays,
this
dude.
point-
Like,
at this
honestly,
point, how I feel about it, like so many people, I want it. I want. And on the other hand, my research into tattoos before this podcast made me want to get a tattoo. I didn't even want a tattoo before this podcast, but the research into it made me, because the reason why I didn't want one is the reason why I want one now. You know what I mean? They're the same exact reason.
I'd say, you know, it's just one of those like, don't let anybody or anyone else's reasons stop you from doing something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like I wanted this shit, I got this shit.
Exactly.
You know, and then like after I look at it in the mirror, I'm like, oh no, that belongs there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that is like my true like feeling on it. Like,
That's good.
like yeah, no, finally it feels right.
That's how you wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. You know what I mean? But one of the things I was looking up is like, it was, because I was talking about the meaning behind it. You know what I mean? And we had talked about how I call it the Boy Scout system, like with you had to earn your badge. You know, and with the Boy Scouts, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like you had to like earn your tattoo. You know what I mean? I remember that was a thing in GTA 5. I used to love that, where you had to rob a certain amount of stores to get this tattoo or this tattoo. You had this tattoos that you had to do stuff in the game to earn, and I used to love that. You know what I mean? I love the idea of like earning a tattoo. They said that how tattoo places used to be like a spiritual places, kind of. You know what I mean? In certain cultures, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
if it wasn't on the criminal side, and even then, sometimes you had to indulge in a certain amount of criminality to even get those tattoos. Even on the righteous side, though, it was like they said there was like a lot of cultures would have like the tattooer who's tattooing you would like go on a fast before the tattoo, or like do something to cleanse himself, or meditate or something.
Yeah.
Something
Going like that Polynesian, like that
yeah.
Hawaiian, even like the Japanese. Like,
Yeah, the tattoo artist himself will do some sort of like ritual before he tattoos you. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the beliefs I came across, and I didn't know about this till I really started researching this, they believe that tattoos are a portal for energy. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I've heard that across about 4 different videos, enough to feel like this must be some sort of a belief that a significant portion of tattooing people believe. So they say it's a portal of energy. They say two major factors in that energy. 3 really, according to the other one. So one is the mental state and the life energy of the tattooer, the artist, which is why they be going to be that their purest form to try to put it. So like if he just went through like a divorce or a breakup and he's like mentally, or he's like on a verge, he's not feeling, and he comes and he tattoos you. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like
it's gonna come
some
across.
of that energy will be imbued in that tattoo to a degree. All right, so there's the energy and the state of the tattoo artist. It says in there. You know, they also say the symbol itself. You know what I mean? The symbol itself, if it's like a positive symbol or more of a negative symbol, you know, it could cause different changes in vibration or different energies to be called to it. You know what I mean? And then also one that I didn't think of was the one that I feel like is most, the one with the person with the energy, his energy in it. I feel that one, but the one I feel the most of the 3 is the third one, when they're talking about the feeling it gives other people when they look at it. Like, because I believe that there's some sort of energy transfer by looking at people. Because also there was a study on it. Like, first of all, there's a saying, I feel like someone's looking at me, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they did a study where they had somebody behind a one-way mirror, you know what I mean? And a mathematician, some people that know a statistical chance. And they're asking you, while not looking at you. Like if someone looking at you right now, it's like if you were here right now, I wouldn't be not looking at you, but I'd have a clipboard. I'd be like, is someone looking at you right now? Is someone looking you right? I'm not looking at you, but there's someone behind the mirror looking at you and not looking at you, and we know that. But I'm like, is someone looking at you right now? You'd be like, no, yeah, someone looking at you, and they know beyond what statistical chance would suggest, you were right, whether or not someone was looking at you. And children,
you get that feeling.
And children were better than adults were.
Well, yeah, because you have to numb yourself to the realities of the world. Yeah, I feel children are the future.
Their perception, perception is more sensitive.
They're more open.
Things. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So like wonder and like that realm of like intuition.
So to me, it's like what that says to me is like just on a physics, just on a trying to make sense of that shit. It's like, so you're telling me I have some ability to perceive whether or not someone's looking at me, even if I can't see them looking at me.
Oh, yeah.
That means that there's something, some form of information,
survival, baby,
energy, or something that's coming out of my eyeball that person is picking up on to, in some way, to go, someone's looking at me, someone's not looking at me. You know what I mean? Here's my theory on it.
Well, think about it.
Do you have a theory on it? Go ahead.
Well, not a theory, but like, yeah, like, you know, you and me, like, we're just walking through the jungle. Like, you know, we're just like came back with our stuff. And like, if we don't have that sense, we don't feel that jaguar's eyes on us, you know? But like, so
yeah,
I feel no matter what it really is, I think part of it is evolutionary. You know,
to feel that sense, to feel that, you know what I mean? So I agree with that. You know what I mean? That is a part of it as well. That to just feel the predator, the eyes on you. That you need to be able to feel
and
that.
It's not even like, you know, how to differentiate if it's a predator or not. Like you can at that
just
moment.
At present,
you just know
anything,
eyes are on
eyes
you.
Are on you. Eyes are on you. You know what I mean? The reason why the way I think about it is like we know the brain activity is neurons firing like electricity, right? So electricity is light, right? So it's the same thing. So your brain activity and the brain activity of that jaguar is, if he's thinking kill, whatever he's thinking, his neurons are firing, there's lightning firing inside of his head. All right, so that's light in your head. Your brain is light thoughts, that's light in your head. That to me is like reasonable. All right. So if light was to escape your head, where would it escape if light was...
trap it in the light bulb above.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you're right. But if light was literally inside of your skull, if you literally theoretically took a light bulb and took it inside, put it inside of your skull, the light will come out your eyes. You know what I mean? Light will come out. And then you think of your eyes are a retina. You think about you seeing, right? You seeing means that your eyes are perceiving light coming this way.
Yeah.
And that's like, who's to say it's a one-way street?
Right. I mean, well, you're the camera guy.
Who's to say
they're
light,
lenses, right?
Yeah. So who's to say light isn't also going this way? I'm saying. So if your brain is light activity, is electrical signals, and it creates some sort of light and photons, and I know from experiencing the sun or stuff like that, with your eyes closed, you can feel when light is hitting you. You can feel when there's light in the room, it hits the back of your eyelids. You can feel the warmth of the sun or the UV. You can feel light and photons hitting your skin to a degree, a lot of them. So if it's a little bit of them and it's in the form of thought, it's a different type of light hitting you, like in a form of, because they say eyes are the windows to the soul. Is the frequency something? I don't know. I think that there's a reason why we envision Superman having heat vision or laser vision. It's because we know something's coming out of there. Yeah. Something's coming. Otherwise, how can we know someone's looking at us? So we're picking up on something. I don't know what that is. I'm saying it's literal electrical signals and light photons coming out of the focused retina of our eyeballs at what we're looking at. That's the reason why when we do quantum measurements, the moment you look at it, it changes its measurements. They say that you looking at it makes it change its position. It's because you think you're just looking at it, but you're actually, there's something coming out of your vision that it's reacting to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just looking at it, you're hitting it with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you're not hitting it with something. That's why it's reacting. Every time you look at it, it changes because you're hitting it with something. Your little laser vision ass don't know what you're hitting it. You don't know you got laser vision, but you got laser vision. I'm going to stop anyway. I'm going to move on. What you call it? We ain't get to the, I'm still on the, all right, move on.
I mean, I do think there are some tattoos. Like,
Oh
It
yeah,
depends on like the culture and what you're into, but there are some tattoos you got to earn. You know, if you ain't earn it, don't get it.
don't
Like I
get
was
it.
saying about the Russian tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, look up
Or
what it
certain gang
means.
tattoos,
You know,
certain things.
yeah,
Don't
like
don't don't go getting every tattoo.
no, like truly, like look up what you want to get tattooed. You know, like
Yeah.
1 in a million chance you'll run into a problem,
Yeah.
but why bother? You know, like look up your imagery, look what it means.
Look it up. I
You
agree
know?
with that. That only the whole reason I was saying that is because if you look up, if you have a tattoo that gives someone negative feelings or gives them negative vibes
Yeah.
or whatever, and they're looking at that tattoo on your body, experiencing that negative energy because of whatever that tattoo invokes in their brain, then that negative energy, in my mind, is being directed at you and at your tattoo
At some degree, it has
for,
to be,
for a
right?
portal of energy like
Yeah.
that. Now that's the most one I can most agree with being an actual thing. You know what I mean? Because also, fun fact, I learned this and it's really bugged me out, bro. If they're training you to be a personal investigator, as in like to follow somebody, you're trained to follow somebody. They train you not to look at them. You're trained to look like if I was following you, I would be trained to look at them, look at the microphone,
Yeah.
look at the mic arm. Don't look directly at you
Yeah.
because you'll detect it, you'll feel it.
That's
They literally train you not to look at
you
the
ever
person
see
you're
the
following.
Departed?
I think you with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I don't know why I've seen that movie too many times. That's
Yeah.
why I remember the scene. But they're like standing outside of the bar. He's like, you know how I know he's a cop? They're like, how? They're like, they don't look at us. And like,
Yeah.
it's classic. Like,
Yep.
you
They're
know,
not
if
looking.
you can make eye contact with someone, right?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, maybe that's like a transference of energy.
It
Like,
is.
I see you, you
Yeah,
see me.
exactly.
Right?
You can see. So the thing that I know it because I know it's a thing because I remember biking around New York City when I was a dog walker. There was so many times where I had my headphones on, I'm listening to some music, I'm biking up some random block in Brooklyn. I'm a little sweaty. I'm minding my business, bro. I'm mostly watching the traffic, looking back and forth, and randomly, for some reason, something would tell me I would randomly just look up at the sidewalk and I'd lock eyes with somebody. Randomly looking at me back on the side. I would randomly look up, boom, someone looking dead at me, and I'm looking dead at them. You know how many times this happened at a concert or like at a thing or like I'm online with I'm on my phone and I just look up and someone's looking directly at me. And I'm like, bro, do you know how many directions your eyes could look in? You could look in literally any direction.
Yeah.
And you stop what you were doing and directly looked up and made eye contact with somebody. That's because there was the intuition in the middle of your brain, like someone's looking at me. You can feel it, and your eyes you just went there instinctually, and now you're looking at somebody before you even knew why the fuck you're looking at them.
Survival of the
Fucking
fittest,
30 fucking feet away, all the way across the kitchen. This nigga's looking. This nigga's looking at me. So many times I've done that. Like I'm seeing
yeah.
looking at, and I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like doing something. I'm making a dish, and I look up. This nigga's looking at me. What are you looking at? This nigga's looking dead at me. But I like sense it. It's so weird. It's so weird to me how that shit happens. You know what I mean? All right. So, what's the first tattoo you ever got?
It was this little sheep right here.
Oh,
yeah.
hey, guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I almost didn't see you there.
It's a logo from my favorite band, Minor Threat, like their album Out of Step.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Joe, R.I.P., like he stick and poked that on me when I was like 15.
Wow, you got that tat when you was 15?
Yeah, give or take.
I love that. You know something I heard about tats? I was only learning because my mother used to watch this like ink battles and stuff like that, which I always thought was cool. People, like
those are guilty pleasure shows.
Yeah, the master one does the tattoo. People try to imitate it, and during that, watching a couple episodes of that, I learned that they said there was a difference between tattooing into old skin versus newer skin.
Oh yeah,
They were like how a tattoo you did on someone when they were 20 years old could look better when they're 60 than a tattoo you did on a 60-year-old at 60 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like that you're tattooing now into 60-year-old skin.
Yep.
As opposed to into 20-year-old skin. You know, it's different. You know what I mean? It's going to hit
that's
different.
why I'm trying to fill up
It's
before I hit that.
It's going to settle
you know?
in different. You know what I mean? That's why I was thinking, like, if I want to get tattooed, oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. So, for one of the main reasons I'm a weirdo in some of my things, like, I don't know. I kind of want to know the nature of our existence as humans. You know what I mean? I'm on a quest for
Yeah.
true truth of like what the fuck is going on here. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I don't believe that the natures of the secrets of the universe will reveal.
If you get a call, answer it.
Yeah, right. I don't think the secrets of the universe will reveal themselves to an undisciplined mind, right, or undisciplined person. So
I would hope not.
yeah, no, I need to reach a higher level of discipline and enlightenment and just purity and clarity and in alignment with my life and my different energies and things like that and disciplines in order to be able to be at a high enough level to be able to unlock these things. And I felt like getting a tattoo would somehow hamper my spiritual path until when I learned the philosophy that it can go both ways. Tattooing has been used by many spiritual people, you know what I mean, to also enhance the spirituality. And so the same way how tattoos could be a portal for energy, it could be negative or positive. They could enhance and help your spiritual journey as well. You know what I mean? And call different things and help you focus your energies in different ways. You know what I mean? So I was like, it could help. I always was staying away from it because I thought it could hurt, but it could also help. You know what I mean? So I was like, if you get the right tattoo under the right circumstances and if you research what you're doing, like you said, you know, maybe there are tattoos that could aid you in your spiritual journey. You know what I mean? So I for that reason, I would consider, and also because me not getting tattoos, I didn't have a good reason to get tattoos, and I also didn't have a good reason not to get tattoos. But I'll tell you this. Bitches love it. That's all I got to say, bro. That's all I got to say. Like, I don't got dreads, but bitches also love dreads. Like, I've been on dating profiles. I love black women, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. If I had $1 for every time I've seen a woman say on her profile, "Oh, I love a dreadhead. I love dreads. I love dreads," I would have 20s and 50s and mad money over the.
Yeah.
I have never seen one time a girl say she likes braids. Not one time. You know what I mean? And I've also never seen a girl ever say in her bio that she doesn't like tats. She either has in her bio that she likes tats or tats aren't mentioned. But I've never heard of tats being not liked. You know what I mean? So to me, dreads immediately increase your percentage of pussy you're going to get. And tattoos also increase the amount of pussy you're going to get. And increasing the amount that women like you will increase the amount of views you get if you're going to be on camera in general, because that increases your attractiveness, apparently, you know what I mean? And then, so it would be a good business decision to get some dreads and some tattoos to a degree, you know what I'm saying? And even then.
Okay, that would be the negative spiritual consequences if you did it for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just for the business aspect. Well, because
I had to do it.
Yeah, like nah.
For the views, bro.
Yeah, get the rapper starter package. Let me get the teardrop. Let me get the a couple times.
I'm glad I didn't take a full swig before you said that. Like, get the baseline like battle pass.
Yeah, baseline. Yep. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Getting it for all the wrong reasons, which I know there are so many people that have done that exact thing.
It's like I'll talk shit all day, and like I don't know if you know me, you know I'm like kind of trolling, and like people are like, oh, like I want to get a tattoo. I'm like, yeah, get anything, it's cool, like
Yeah.
But like I'm more just like get something, if you want it,
if you want something,
do it.
If you want to do it, yeah.
I'm like I always say, like I'm not the friend that like will talk you out of something unless it'll actually hurt you. I'm like, no, that's dangerous. Like, don't do that. Like I want a tattoo. Cool, do it. Like,
but I do feel sometimes like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think tattoos are about power. That's like the energy that I pick up from it.
Always, for sure. I don't know how they feel about it now, but I do still associate tattooing with badass, a little bit of a tougher person, a little bit of a more of a checkered past, perhaps a little more of a. I still do personally associate it, but even though there's fucking doctors and lawyers with tattoos and different, but even them still might have. I'm just saying, like
and it's the projection of power. Like I want to open the portal to power, and not like controlling power, but like Super Saiyan power, like.
Yeah, Super Saiyan. It's literally the only race I ever wish I was other than black.
Namekian all day, dude.
I've never been mad I was
Piccolo
a black
was
person.
my guy.
Yeah, Piccolo. I got a literal bar.
So big.
Yes, I got a bar. I'll be rapping sometimes, and I used to write bars. One of my favorite bars I wrote was about Piccolo. I I said, bitch, I'm meaning by my green because my OG was Piccolo.
Oh,
I said, I'm meaning by my green
Hell
because
yeah,
my OG
dude.
was Piccolo. You heard
No,
me?
that's like gonna be rattling around my brain forever now.
I'm meaning by my green. You heard me? But anyway, I'll fuck with it now. But what you call it? What are your top 3 favorite tattoos that you have?
Oh, that's tricky. You count the sleeve as one? Can I cheat?
I'm seeing feathers or flowers.
Yeah, the leaves.
Leaves. Yeah, the leaves. Yeah, I'm seeing the that's. You know what as a person who loves Naruto, I have an affection for leaves in general. I don't know if that's a Japanese style tattoo, but it strikes me as Japanese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've also listened to a whole history of Japanese style tattoos. One of the things they love doing is the black background with the colors on top of it. So when I saw that
specific style of ink they use called sumi ink,
Mm-hmm.
And like all this like black and gray is all that ink, just like put in at different like volumes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. When
we got like our
strikes
wind
as
going.
Yeah, it strikes as
clouds.
As Japanese. Yeah,
like, these are called like wind bars. Like because the element on this is like wind, basically.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, like this is all like predetermined for the most part. I wanted this fox. Like,
let me see. Wow. See, now that's definitely giving Japanese 100%.
oh yeah.
See,
like,
I was gonna say now that's definitely because see, it's not clouds, it's leaves, but it's still giving Akatsuki. It's still giving
it's the wind.
It's the wind element. The wind that general
the wind god. It's not Raiden is the lightning, but his brother that I should fucking know is the god of wind.
Yeah,
like they don't like each other. There's they got beef. There's a whole thing. But yeah, so like you don't like really like you can like cross elements and whatnot, But so I wanted the fox.
Yeah.
Like let me like roll back, and then like the guy I went to, he did like Japanese, but like with the American traditional like flair, like there was like soul to it.
Yeah.
And like I want this guy tattoo a fox on my forearm.
Yeah.
So he drew up the fox. He's like, yeah, here's this, and here's one with background. And like the one with the background was so fucking sick.
Yeah.
So
The Japanese.
Yeah. So like we started like basically up to the elbow where you see like the tail.
I'm about to say yeah. That's
and
dope.
like so we did all that in 4 sessions, and then.
What is this? This is a snake. What is this other creature here?
Yeah, we got ourselves a snake. You see the head there?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
that's that Amochimaru right there.
So the silver fox is for me and my mother. She always said we were like silver foxes.
Wow.
The snake is for my grandma because there's a story about her.
Wow, it's got claws and everything.
Oh yeah,
that's dope as shit.
Yeah, like right there, like those claws, like that part hurt like it was bad.
Yeah, because it's right on the suicide.
Yeah,
part.
and it was like also like towards the end of the session,
Uh-huh.
and like my body's already tapping out. But the snakes for my grandma because there was a story when she was a kid, she found a dead snake.
Yeah,
she buried it in the backyard until it was like decomposing, and then chased some kids around with it.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, my family's been fucking with people forever.
It's funny as hell. Oh,
and I just love that story. And so like that's for her. And then we got our Namakubi up there.
Who's that?
So this is called a Namakubi. I'm probably butchering that a little bit, but the symbol means to die with honor.
Wow.
And I think
is that a samurai then?
Yeah, basically.
I would think so, because that's a short sword that the samurais use
it's
to
like,
kill themselves.
So the symbol...
Is that the short sword? Because I remember the samurais carried a short sword just to kill themselves, which I remember when I found out was ridiculous. I was like, they do that whole thing where they're like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, and you do it that way so it hurts more.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Like, this is how fucking hard I am.
Yeah, bro. The fucking that's literally crazy. It's crazy, man. But that, I respect the fuck out of it. I've always loved something about the Japanese, the anime, something about even the philosophies behind the whole. Like, I just loved so much about the anime and learned about it. Just so much about that I loved. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I'm not gonna accept y'all telling me that China's my enemy, because like there's so much about the Chinese medicine. I don't understand a lot of but a lot of the communism also stems from that strong family values and things like it's like certain things get crossed, some lines get crossed. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, it's like you can hate a government, but don't hate a person.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Know?
The government and the people is two different things, because I hope people can separate that with the America too, because America does a lot of things that the American people probably are not a fan of.
Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of shit I didn't have a say in. Like
us invading all types of shit or subverting other elections and things, and we acting like we don't ever do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why Kennedy, one of them guys that was really against the whole idea of the CIA, the whole idea of having an organization, a government organization that does secretive things that aren't revealed to the American people. You know what I mean? How can you vote on something that you don't know what the fuck's going on? And literally,
look how that went for him.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, you can't.
I think his head just did that.
Yeah, yeah, for real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, and it makes sense. Like, to have democracy, you need transparency. Like, how can I make decisions?
You would think so, yeah.
How can I make decisions on things I don't have all the information present? I need information to make the proper decisions. If you're hiding information in operations and different things that you're doing overseas, and I don't know what the fuck's really going on, but you feel like I don't need to know what's going on. You feel like you could just do things. You feel like it's you're treating me like a child instead of like an adult that you're representing. You're representing me. You're not making decisions for me. You're,
Well, yeah, and like I guess the idea is like, you vote for them to represent you.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I don't like anybody. Like nobody's like saying.
How do you feel about the idea? The idea I had was what I call direct democracy. See, what we have right now, I always think that there's new forms of government that rise up over time, and I feel like we haven't had a new form of government in a long time. And I was going with direct democracy. See, representative democracy is what we have now.
I think it's like what we're doing is like a federalism. I could be wrong, but like like
sort
representative.
Yeah. So we elect the Congress, and the Congress represents the constituents.
Yeah.
You know, it represents us. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
they're supposed to.
Yeah, that made sense when I had to go ride a horse to go to the meeting of the Congress if I wanted to go figure out what they was talking about.
Yeah.
And it was harder for that information to get transferred to the people. So it was like, you know what? Why don't they just have them do that, and then you vote for them?
It could just be like an Amber Alert you get on your phone.
That's what I'm saying. But today it's like,
but also like a lot of people are stupid.
That's what I was about to ask. The next question is, how much do you trust your average American? Because us going to war right now, like us going to war with like voting on that Ukraine shit, that was a bunch of senators voting on that.
Yeah.
Whatever. What if that was like how American Idol could get tens of millions? American Idol voting used to get better turnouts than the fucking election for America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you can buy houses online and get loans online and do banking things online, you can secure. If you've secured millions and billions of dollars online through transactions, you could secure. You could probably put us all on a blockchain, get us a voting coin or some shit.
Yeah.
You could block. You could secure voting online if you wanted to. They don't want to, but you could. You could. You know what I mean? So
make it easy and accessible.
Exactly. No, literally. I don't know how there hasn't been a democracy day yet. Like, we have days off for Martin Luther King and day off for Christmas. Like, how the fuck is the day November 7th or 8th, whichever one it is, or 9th or November 4th? It changes, one of those.
I hope I don't look stupid.
No, it's been one. It's been all of those. It's been the 4th, the 7th, the 8th. It depends. But the point is that that Tuesday in November, whatever day it be, you know what I'm saying? Why isn't that Democracy Day? Why isn't that a day?
Yeah. No, that's national holiday, right?
That literally everyone has off of work. This is the day we go. This the only people that don't have.
Well, I mean, like the government just proved like they could give a check to everybody in America. So okay, pay for me to miss work that day.
Yeah, I can miss work one day. The day that I have to decide who's in power.
Just like everything shut down. Sorry. Right.
The only thing I think should be the only people that got to work is the people that work the polls in election, And
Volunteers.
if people in the hospital,
willingly doing it. Yes, you got to keep the hospitals open.
hospitals,
That's pretty important.
firefighters, and police officers. All right, if you ain't a hospital firefighter, a police officer, or a poll worker, literally making the polls run, you know what I mean? Then
That'd be sick. It's like then there's no excuse. Like
turnout, because
you want to argue about turnout? Well, everyone had the day off.
because I remember when people were getting mad about the first Donald Trump versus Hillary election. What I was most mad about was that there was 110 million eligible Americans that did not vote, that simply did not vote. You had 100 million motherfuckers that just didn't vote. The election was a gap of about like a 5 million or some shit. Like, I don't know, like a couple. But there was a literal 100 million Americans that was like, meh, could give a fuck. I'm going to do something else. Like, what? 100 million Americans? That, like, even right now, they're worried about, the Democrats are going to cheat the election because they let in 20 million immigrants. And I'm like, bro, last election, you had 100 million Americans that didn't fucking vote. And y'all worried about this 20 million immigrants that might get a chance to vote.
Oh,
but
one
bro,
of those is like,
bro,
displaces the blame, and one of them puts the blame.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So
like, no, it's not your fault. It's the immigrants' fault. Right?
I'm just.
You don't have to get off your ass. It's their fault.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
I got a fucking rack of piss, bud.
Yeah. I'm down with you. Take a break.
Hey.
2:11 to the scene. Take a break. I'm doing a terrible job again. I had too many questions. I have too much of a conversation. We have to get to the fucking sci-fi. Jesus Christ. I gotta get off this topic. I gotta take a piss. So
I mean, like, this was honestly, I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna get to hang out with Carl. It's gonna be sick. So, hey. I got the whole fucking day off, but I don't give a shit.
Let me just say for the record, part of the reason why 3 hours is the limit, but I might cut this. I'm probably gonna cut this. Definitely gonna be in the clips. No one watches the full version anyway, but I'm gonna just say this real quick. It's all about the clips. The clips get all the views. Clips get all the views. The longer I go, the longer the AI, the more the clips the AI gives
the more
me.
clips you can get.
The more clips I can get, the more views I can get, the more it spreads out. So that's the only reason why I be trying to go a little bit long sometimes.
I'm fucking down to clown, dude. Like,
so for the best, you know.
I'm gonna get some food after this. That's about
for sure. For sure, I'm fucking dying. I'm definitely gonna do that. I might go real fast after this, but yeah, I'm gonna have to skip the nerdy part, which I love. I might touch on just one subject.
I mean, we can two-part it. Like,
if you're willing to come back one day, you know what I mean, in the future. You know what I mean?
You tell me, I just get to hang out. We smoke up and drink.
Yeah, to have a little
bullshit.
Yeah. Good time, right? That's what I always thought. You know what I mean? But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna save that part for the next part. But I'm gonna DH one. All right. So we back from the bathroom break. You know what I mean? One last thing on the tattoos thing before I leave it alone. How do you feel about relationship tattoos? I've heard they've always been a bad omen. How do you feel about relationship tattoos?
I think they're just bad juju. I don't know. You know, like
bad juju. I love that.
There's so many ex-girlfriends that have wanted me to get them like tattooed on me. You know, I'm like, yo, just because I got a lot doesn't mean they don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
You know, like, what, you want me to just have a body count on me? Like, you know?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you know, if you want to do it, do it.
I'm more okay with matching tattoos than a name tattoo.
Yeah,
I'm more if I don't have any tattoos, period. But I'm more likely to get the whole I got one half of a heart, you got the other half of the heart type shit, or I got the moon, you got the
just
sun,
just go.
I got the yin,
get
you got the yang.
Together.
You know what I mean?
You know, you can get
you know what I'm saying. But I got the lock, you got the key. You know what I mean? Type shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay, but then then you just stuck with a lock, and that person's got the key, and then another person get the key tattoo. But now there's two people with the key, motherfucker. That ain't right. Yeah. It's locked. It's locked. The heart's locked.
Yeah, like there's, as far as names go, you know, it's like I'd do like my mom's name maybe, you know, or like my dog's names. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, who's Tina, Lula, and Ricky? Like, that's my mom, dog. Yeah. Like, you know.
But as far as me thinking, I also motivated by energy and productivity and trying to push myself to do what I'm supposed to do. Times when I'm weak-willed or get sleepy or I just want to sleep. Because that's the guiltiest thing that takes my time right now is sleep. Like literally right before this podcast, right? I got off work I worked 6 a.m. to, I'm going to say 3:20. I got home around 3:50, 3:45. Got in the shower, took a shower. I'm at the desk at 4 o'clock, and I'm at the desk in my apartment, and I'm about to try to do some comedy videos. That's why I don't know if you saw the cat with little massaging underneath. I was going to try to do some voiceover videos. I was trying to do some work before the podcast, and I started getting so sleepy, bro. And it's because I was up late Sunday doing shit and doing work, and I just worked all day, and I went to bed and I took a 40-minute nap. You know what I mean? Instead of staying at the computer and doing the work. And I felt bad about that. I was like, I'm going to take a little nap before the pod because I don't want to be tired for the pod. I want to be awake for the pod and good for the pod. So I don't want to just rush it out and drag it out and get whatever I could get done and then drag my sleepy self to the pod and be sleepy at the pod. I'm like, let me just take a little 40-minute nap instead so I can be
that weird thing. I get it where I feel guilty for not doing something.
Exactly.
But how are you going to do anything if you can't?
Exactly. You know? Yeah. So, and then I felt bad too because it's this Saturday that just passed. I'm gonna shut up. This Saturday that just passed, I had to work 8 a.m. to noon at my other job, my first job, and a lot of times I'll be finding it hard for myself to get up and get to work to work for me to edit videos at 8 a.m. something like that on a Saturday, and I'm thinking, here I am. So
Getting up to make someone else money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things I always say to people. Like when I was first starting, and I am still starting, I'm still in the beginning. My definition of the difference between a boss and a worker is that it's easy to get up and work when someone's paying you. Yeah. It's easy to get up and go work when someone's telling you what to do, when someone else has it all set up. You're going to be at work. But for you to get up and go to work when you're not getting paid, the paycheck isn't necessarily right there, where no one's telling you to get up and go do it. You have to boss yourself around. People always think that
you can't be a boss if you can't do that.
Yeah, people always think being a boss is, I get to supervise a boss. And maybe but me starting a business,
Brown. I didn't pay the cost to be the boss.
I gotta boss me around. I know what I need to do. I know how many videos I need to edit. I know what needs to be done. I need to convince myself to do it. I need to boss myself around to do it. That's one of the
hardest things,
you know what I mean? So I'm still learning self-mastery, how to boss myself around and get myself to do all the things I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? That way,
100%.
Because that's number one. Because it's like, damn, you could do all of a sudden on Saturday, you got to get up to go to work. You can do that though. But on your Saturday, you don't get up at 9 a.m. Now you're not. All of a sudden, it's hard for this for you. But if it was somebody else, you all up, you there on time. You there on time, ready.
I did that shit today. I was like, I have to mow my lawn. You know, my back lawn. I did the front lawn. Got it in time, but it had rained, and I was like, it's too wet. Can't do it. You know, took the easiest excuse.
I would do it, but the rain.
I guess I'm just gonna have to sleep in.
Exactly. I feel you, dog. You know what I mean? So,
but then it circles back to but I'm trying to be nice to myself. You didn't do that shit today. I'm like, I did need the rest.
Exactly.
I mean, you see the bags. I need
the rest. On one hand, it's like. That's why I don't get too mad, because I know I need to be like, dog, you ain't sleep all week. You always work it. So could you get one night of 8 hours, nigga? Can you get 8 hours of sleep one night a week?
Please.
Well, I really don't even get one night of sleep for 8 hours a week. So when I take these little extra naps or a little bit of time, I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, dog, you never get 8 hours.
I think it's more you got to flip it into a little treat, you know? It's like, ooh, I'm excited. Instead of I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. I had to sleep. Oh, yeah.
That's how I get to take a nap.
Yeah, I be feeling mad when I sleep, bro. I'm mad because I slept means that's 3
wasted
or 4
hours.
clips that didn't get edited, that didn't get posted, that didn't get,
See, that's what, it sounds fucked up, but I kind of wish days were 36 hours.
I'm telling you, man. You need a little more time, just a little. There's not enough hours in the day, dog.
Yeah,
There's not.
I just need a little bit more.
That's why I always loved the hyperbolic chamber from Goku. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if I could just sleep in a hyperbolic chamber where time runs different, where my only 4 hours I get to sleep would turn into 8, but I still would get the time back in the real world. The problem is, though, you age faster with that. You age fast. Even with them, when they would tell you were still age, but they were Super Saiyans, so that didn't matter because they were already aging slower than. But in real life, time is time, and you still age. They say if you live to 70 or 80, I think it is, that you've slept roughly 8 hours a night, that you slept 10 years straight worth of time. By the time you said 10 years straight. To think you spent literally 10 full years straight sleep is crazy to me.
And you look it up and it's they know some of the reasons why we need sleep.
Yeah.
But overall, they're I don't know.
Yeah.
Recovery. You get sleepy. Sleep.
You need sleep. You need sleep. You know what I mean? But
I wish okay, in my perfect world, you could just bank up sleep. So one day I sleep 24 hours and that's 8 hours sleep for 6 days. I'm good.
Wow.
I could just stay up for 6 days.
Sleep is the only reason why I've slightly fantasized about getting a brain chip. I would never get a brain chip. I still wouldn't.
Fuck that. No.
I still wouldn't. But
I've read way too many sci-fi novels.
Yeah.
But don't get a brain chip, kids.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. But the idea of being able to sleep the way I charge my phone.
Oh, yeah.
The way my phone is at 60%, and I know if I get home real quick and I instantly plug it in, instantly charge.
Yeah, no, and then you get the lightning cable.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, dude, I'm good in 20 minutes.
Yeah, being able to but because sometimes I have time to nap. I'm jealous of people that can nap at my job. Like we get like a 20-minute break in the beginning of, after 4 hours, and we get like a half an hour lunch break. And I know people that will like eat for the 5 minutes and go to sleep for 25 minutes and wake up and go down. And I'm like, bro, I could not get myself to fall asleep in that amount of time.
Or wake up.
Yeah. If I did go to sleep, I wouldn't wake up. And if I didn't wake up, I wouldn't go to sleep. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like I'd start falling asleep at like minute 21.
But what if? But what if the same way I could set my air condition on a schedule to be like, yo, you sleep at this time, you kick on at this time. What if I could do that with like, yo, bro?
You'd be like mid conversation and like 12 o'clock rolls around and like,
yeah, I'm telling you. But at the same time, I think my overall amount of time spent sleep would increase because I'd be able to because I would definitely. My lunch break, I would spend a good 10 minutes. I got a 30-minute lunch break. I could spend 10 minutes of his sleep.
That's horrible.
And still get a 20-minute lunch break if I could just.
30-minute lunch break is not good. That is humanitarian at best.
Bro.
Should have an hour.
I always say that.
As we work in an industry where we get no breaks.
Yeah. Because I always compare my first job to my second job, and I'm like, bro. Yeah, that question I asked you earlier, what would I change, bro? PTO, designated breaks, and for sure healthcare is different. Like, I heard that our job offers healthcare, but it's too expensive. Like the healthcare I get at the other job is like less expensive. I don't know how they got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But give them healthcare, give them PTO, and give them designated breaks, bro. That whole thing where you only get a break when the tickets stop, you be having 3-4 hours, so much time straight where like you can't get a break. There's no relief. There's no like.
Oh yeah, dude. I've done like 36 hours like with a 2-hour nap. You know?
Yeah. Oh God. That shit's crazy. It's too much.
I was younger, but
yeah. My record I hit last year while getting this job at Mad Nice. My record was when I was working with Mad Nice first. Sorry, I should get.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I was.
You can edit that,
right? Yeah, right. But I was working when it first had opened. They had me there like 5-6 days out the week, so I was working 40 hours and sometimes a little bit of overtime there, and I still had my day job where I was working 40 hours. So my max I hit was like my peak. My record is 88 hours in a week.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? And I crashed my car that week because I fell asleep behind the wheel. Because, dog, 88 hours in a week. You know what I mean? I luckily didn't hit anybody. I just hit the sidewall and I swerved in between 10 cars. And I didn't hit anybody. So and my car was still drivable after I got hit. After I hit the sidewall.
I mean, like that. I can't imagine.
But still, 88 hours, it was too much for me. That apparently, you know what I mean? There was work. I was looking like a zombie.
Yeah.
Those are the days I discovered. I gotta shut up. I gotta get one last thing. My dad has a legendary story. My mother told me one time that my mother was working with him, not working with him, but was there with him. That his job, Dad used to work as a security officer. Called my mom and told my mom to come get my dad because my dad was freaking people out. And the reason why is because my dad was apparently standing up at his station as a security officer, asleep with his eyes open. You know what I mean? So people was like going like this in front of my dad's face and his eyes was open. He was asleep. And they thought that he was like possessed or something, like something was wrong with him. You know what I mean? Then my mom
I thought Haiti did the voodoo.
It was like crazy. You know what I mean? It was like my mother told you it was like a whole thing, whatever. It's crazy. And I used to like kind of like not believe that story because I'd be like, that's crazy.
I have like felt like I wanted to be able to do that.
Yeah. Until like that week when I was working 88 hours, I didn't have my eyes open, but I was on an assembly line, asleep, standing up, sleep. Knocked out cold, sleeping, standing up. My supervisor, who's a cool guy, by the way, he could have been way more for Joker. He was like standing in front of me like, Carl. And I'm sitting there like, knocked, sleeping up, staple gun in my sleeping, fully standing up, just sleeping. And he was like, and when I finally woke up, I was like, he was like, yo, do you know you were asleep for a full, 5 minutes, standing up there, and I was told you were asleep, asleep, and I was like, wow.
Dude, like, that's one of those things. It's like, I feel like in his position, he's like, okay, are you fucked up? Yeah. And it's like, okay, you're not fucked up.
You knew I was working. You knew I was working
like,
my ass.
Homie, Like you gotta go home and get some sleep.
No,
Like,
for real.
honestly, I wouldn't even send you home. It's like, no, you gotta go.
Yeah,
you gotta sleep.
It's like, dog, like you
go in my office
for
you
real.
know,
like dog I was standing up sleeping. It was the craziest time.
That's a limit.
I was so exhausted. You know, it was crazy. You know what I mean?
I felt like that, but no, not to my knowledge have I ever like actually fallen asleep standing up.
Yeah. I was, and ever since that happened, I was like worried about it because I knew I could fall asleep while driving. That's how I broke my neck. But just falling asleep while standing up, I was like, and that happening like 2 or 3 times at the job made me believe in the stories about my dad. I was like, well, maybe if I could fall asleep standing up, maybe he did fall asleep with his eyes open. It was crazy. That's just like when your willpower and your body, when you push your body past.
Yeah,
where it's like because my dad, I guess, was like, I'm at the post. I will focus. I will stay awake. I will not fall asleep. His willpower was like, I'm staying awake. I'm here on the job, and his body was like,
like mind over matter doesn't always work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when the immovable force meets the immovable object. You know what I mean? It's like his body's like, dog, we are human and we are out. And his spirit was like, we're here. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is happening? You know what I mean? But anyway, man, I'm gonna toss it to Charles, you know what I mean, for the real news gonna be real. 31. I'm not that bad. All right. Charles, are you there, Charles? Please come in, Charles. Oi, man. Charles here with the news and the headlines to keep you lot informed on what's going on in the world. You understand? Let you know what's going on around the world, man. You know what I mean? We've got real news, no bullshit going on here, and a few headlines for you lot. Here we are. Here, first one up here. 7 U.S. military personnel injured in a rocket attack after an AI Assad airbase. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on there, bruv. But apparently we still have loads of things going on in the Middle East and all that. You get me? And because of that, we're still on the fire, but man, the rockets and things happening there, man. I'm not okay with it, honestly. But it is what it is as it stands. You know what I mean? Next story up here. We have multiple Iran officials and staff members detained during an investigation into Hamas leader assassination. Bombs reportedly planted in Iran. That's amazing. I didn't really hear about that. With all the assassinations going on now, I suppose there's different ones going on overseas. That's, you know what I mean? All the election and everything going on, you know what I mean? People are just not informed of what's happening actually across the world and all that, you know what I mean? It's a couple of these headlines not really making the news and all that, you get me? Last one up here. Pentagon announces deployment of additional military assets to the Middle East in anticipation for an attack on Israel by Iran, sending multiple warships and additional fire jets. And I'm not really happy about this, to be honest. I was hoping that I don't know why I thought that's our involvement in the wars going on around the world was going to damper down a bit with the election going on and uncertainty is into exactly who's the leader in our affairs in this, you know what I mean? But apparently the deep state is just ramping it up all along, and regardless of what's going on here, you know what I mean? So that's really not really helpful. You know, I don't know what's going on here. You know, we're going to war apparently. Everything's just continuing to ramp up regardless of uncertainty going on here. But you know what? For more information on these headlines, feel free to do your own fucking research. And with that, back to you, Charlie. Thanks, Charles. I appreciate that, giving us a little idea what's going on out there. Apparently, they're still up to no fucking good. You know what I mean?
Excellation.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? This is the brand building segment where we talk about our trials and tribulations as entrepreneurs or future entrepreneurs who are trying to build our brand and our business. You know what I mean? And I always start with the guest. So if there's a business you plan to build in the future, if there's a social media you want to plug, if there's a friend's business you want to plug, this is the brand building segment, the shameless plug segment. You know what I mean? Get your promotion out there. Sell yourself, sell your brand, sell your friend's brand. What do you have for the people?
I ain't really got anything I'm building myself, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing worthwhile, at least.
I remember you talking about an idea you had in the future you were thinking about.
Yeah, plenty. Plenty of ideas, you know. The retirement plan is to teach kids how to cook and have an after school program.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, that's my body still works, so I ain't doing that just yet. You know, I got homies doing things though. My other buddy Kyle, like Loud Fumes and Glue on Instagram. Like, go to him for all your screen printing needs. He's cool as shit.
Is it ice cream?
Huh?
You said ice cream?
Screen printing.
Oh, screen printing.
Yeah.
Oh, like shirts and shit like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dope.
You know, known him since fucking forever.
Yeah. You said he's Kyle? Name is Kyle?
Yeah, yeah.
Look at the Kyles sticking together.
For real though, like I've met one asshole actually named Kyle.
Yeah.
But he spelled it with a C.
He's
So like
definitely
that's
I've
already
never even heard of
Yeah.
a Kyle with a C.
already
That's
like
crazy.
psychopathic behavior.
For sure,
you know?
for sure.
Like,
Bad lineage. That's
like-
crazy.
oh no, man.
Yeah, Kyle with a C.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a. That's crazy.
No, it's not a thing. It's not a.
It's
I mean,
not a
He's not
thing.
one of us.
I mean, I've always kind of talked shit about Carls with a C. I just a little bit joking. I was like, we're the original Carls because Carls with a K is first because K is the German way of spelling it. I'm just saying, Carls with a K is first, and the American
Shout
way is
out.
with a C. You know what I mean? I always used to make jokes. You know what I mean? The K's is straight. The C's be a little different. They're a little curvy. You know what's going on over there. You know? But nah, the C's, that's crazy. K is a strong letter. K is a way stronger
yes, it's rigid.
letter. Yeah, you could build structures off the K. So you can't build off C,
God,
dog. You can't
my
build.
boy just had one of my best friends since third grade. He just had a baby boy like half a year ago.
Yeah.
Named him Conan with a K.
Conan, wow. Conan
Like
with
that's
a K.
powerful.
Yeah, Conan. Damn. That's dope as
Yeah.
shit. That's dope as shit. But yeah, so you had the buddy with the Prince. That's really dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I got a lot of friends like doing shit. But
Shout out to that.
Everybody's
Shout out
all
to
right. You
That's
know,
dope.
that was just the first, like that's my boy.
Shout out
Known
to
him
him,
forever.
man. Shit, listen, Print the Church. You know what I'm saying? Does he have like a name on Instagram or something like that? You are
Yeah,
familiar with?
Loud Fumes and Glue.
Loud
all one-
Fumes and Glue, all one
Yeah.
word. You know what I mean? Go follow him
Yep,
and support
fucking-
some local Detroit.
For all your
business.
diss rock dreams. Like, you know, I ain't got like nothing else to really promote. Like,
I respect that. I respect that. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Well, you already know I'm and like in the beginning of the podcast, I'm gonna have your social media pop up across the thing, man. I hope
do it
someone
up.
listen, man. Send him some big booty pictures, man. Send him some big titty pictures, man. Help him
Yeah.
get through the shift, man. He'll appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Always.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You already know CharlieGtv, man. Listen, I've been taking a little while with these clips I've been editing. You know what I mean? I posted one of my stories today. That was like a sample of the clips I've been editing, and I'm telling you that the clips are getting better. I got little titles up at the top of it. I got better AI images coming in. I got this little zoom transition thing happening to the beginning of the clip. I can actually probably even show you one of them because this is the edit I use. It's like right here. But like from the videos I had on my podcast, you know what I mean, from over here, you can say they're pretty good. They're all right. You know what I mean. But just looking at the editing style, basically, you see the little bit of imagery used in there. You know what I mean. You hear the
I don't mean it
audio.
to be disrespectful, 'cause I love my brothers every day of the week. I'll do anything for them. But you know, they get like
The
I
audio
tell
is
'em, like,
alright.
there's certain things I don't do because I know I don't got a village. That's
But
all I'm gonna do.
really-
Like, I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I might end up with just
Like this camera view in general, and as far as like the layout, was one I was using a lot of, and I found another one that I like even more. You know what I mean? Than this one. You know what I mean? And sort of
Okay.
the layouts are different as well as the speed is almost doing retention editing. You know what I mean? It's in like the focusing on the first 10 seconds of every clip. People lose attention. So the first 3 seconds there's a shift. I got the little zoom in thing. So that's that's not one of my first clips, but that's like a clip that's out now, as opposed to this clip that has, you can see the title right there. You know what I mean?
Our economic growth was outpacing
Right
many
at
other
the
races.
beginning
We had
of it.
Black Wall Street that doesn't exist today, even though there's more black millionaires today. I feel like everyone with
There's
money
little
runs
zooming
away from
happening,
the
you know what I
problems.
mean?
Like, one runs away from like guys like that are smart enough maybe to once we figure
there's a lot more cuts happening there. It's just like a little fast, a little more production. You know what I mean? A little,
I definitely work on that audio pacing though.
yeah.
Like that's sped up stuff makes me anxious. As an anxious person.
I'll
Already.
be honest with you though. I was just talking too fucking fast in that clip. That clip is not sped up.
No way, that's actually you.
I promise.
No, fuck.
I swear that clip is not sped up. That clip is not sped up. I was just talking too fucking fast.
All right.
That's
My man's
me.
excited. All right,
Buy a
shout
house
out.
in
Yeah.
a white man's neighborhood and never have to. But because of segregation, we couldn't just do that. We were forced to reinvest, forced to make jobs.
I'm just talking. I was just talking. But anyway, I was just talking too fucking fast. It's because I had somebody say it in my DM too. Like, are you speeding up the clips now? I was like, nah.
No,
nah,
just
nah,
hype.
nah. Although sometimes I heard about people doing that, bro. That's crazy to me. Like, I heard people like to get information. Like, I'm a crunch on time too. But I'm not about to start listening to podcasts at 1.5 times speed.
Okay, like sometimes 0.5 is it like it can be done because I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm with you
A little bit,
So,
a little bit of
but,
speed
like,
up.
You know, so like I gave it a test and I was like, all right, like 0.5. I'm like, all right.
I'm like, yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
A little bit of speed up, but like when it gets, listen, dog, I can't.
No, dude.
You
Like,
can't condense my information intake that much.
And I'm not going to
mean?
pretend that I can.
Yeah.
Know? Like, it's like,
Yeah, stop.
Oh no, like no. I'm like a diesel engine. I always say like I'm slow to start, but like once I do, I'll just keep going.
Yep.
You know, so like, all right, I need to process, and then
That's funny as shit. But yeah, man, I'm not even gonna play the shit I be playing. You know what I mean? Just reinvest, get a job. I mean, reinvest, buy real estate, and never give up hope because a job stands for just over broke. Remember that. So go build your business. Go invest. Go figure out a way to escape the rat race because that's what we all got to do, right? You know what I mean? So
unless you like the rat race,
unless you like it,
then
which
try to win.
Quit it. Just stop it. Stop it. What you call it? So a couple controversial questions, right before the end here, because
let's get spicy.
Yeah. So building value versus preserving value. I feel like men and women in a lot of ways are inverse of each other. I say equal doesn't mean identical. We're equal to the survival of the human race, but the roles that we play towards that survival are not identical. So in my opinion, I say equal but not identical. So one of the things I say is that like men must build their value, women must preserve their value. So if you have a beautiful woman, right? She must, I don't know, not monetize her beauty or become a whore or a stripper, or that she's preserve her value.
And okay, like first off, we're definitely like reaching into spicy territory by saying like essentially separate but equal. Like, cause
wow,
it's like
equal doesn't mean identical though. I really believe that because that's
like I think what you're saying is like there's merit, you know.
Yeah,
but, like the verbiage is like
the verbiage is a
people
little
are
problematic.
just like so. Not even like it's just like people are so ready to pop off these days.
But it's the same thing with like black people and like Asian people. It's like, are we equal to our necessity or importance of existence to humanity and pushing humanity forward? Yes. Are we identical in the way in which we contribute to society or the way in which we exist as humans? No, we're not identical. But equal doesn't mean identical. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't need to have the like just because I always say this about men and women. Like I feel like men have physical strength, like we have
inherent.
We're physical strength, but women have pain tolerance. I give pain tolerance to women. You know what I mean? As far as like the periods, the childbirth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you ever fucking push an orange out of your dick?
Yeah, like chill.
I ain't.
Yeah, nah.
Not trying to.
Yeah, so with that pain shit, you know what I mean? I give women the pain tolerance because they definitely tolerate, but I give men the strength. So we just have different ways of contributing.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
I think there's something beautiful to that, you know, like because like I tend to romanticize it instead of like look for problems.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem when people are unhappy with the natural order of what I would say even just that the natural what's natural, what's normal. What do you mean? What do you mean a normal man? What do you mean a real man? What do you mean a real woman? I'm just saying the natural order of things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. I want that to happen. Like, you know.
But yes, like to circle back, I think like that is just classic humanity. It's like men have to prove that they're a worthwhile mate, and a worthwhile mate needs someone that proves that they're worthwhile.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
Exactly.
and maintains that standard. And like that's what's fucked up is like, you know, like physical appearance like that degenerates.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's not important.
yeah, it's like sorry, that's just the fact of life.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you can fight it as much as you want, but like you're gonna wrinkle.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
There's no way to fight it. No way to fight. So I always say like, so all right. So I was trying to get you to react to the concept of men building value versus women
Yeah.
preserving value, because I always say like to a guy that's like 18, I'm like, listen, you're 18 and you're 20. You're worried about this other girl that's 21 years old. Listen, she's 21. She's 18 right now. She's at the peak of her value in the dating market. You know what I mean? Whereas an 18-year-old guy versus an 18-year-old girl, the girl is way more valuable in the market. You're an 18-year-old guy. You're an 18-year-old man, but no one's really looking at you like a man yet, right? So fast forward 10 years, a 30-year-old man versus a 30-year-old woman. Now, that 30-year-old man is way more looked at like an actual man,
Yeah.
not just a boy. You know what I mean? And honestly,
I mean, like I felt the entire shift, you know,
Exactly.
like through my years.
exactly. You know what I mean? So versus a 30-year-old woman, which is like, and realistically, you're 5 years from geriatric pregnancy. You know what I mean? You're a lot of you still probably pretty, but not as pretty and fertile as you was at 20. So to me, at 30, once it hits 30, the man's value on the dating market as a single versus a woman's value, the man starts to overtake a little as opposed to
Yeah,
when
100%.
18 versus 8, and then but after that 30 mark, the man's gap just gets bigger and bigger between the few. So like our great they was hot for a good 15 years. They was hot. But we gonna be good hot for a good 30, 40. We gonna be rocking for a minute once
Yeah.
we build. Because what makes men attractive takes time. We need experience. We be battle tested. We have to be financially stable. We have to be mentally
Yeah.
stable, and all of that
Yeah.
takes the world punching us in the face a few times before we be like, all right, I can't do that with my money. All
Like,
right,
you
I can't
know,
do that
like,
with my employment. All
I've
right.
had fucking young ass girls just be like, I love your little fucking wrinkles in your forehead. You're like, you must have been so stressed. I'm like,
Yeah.
I still am. What the
Yes,
fuck?
exactly.
You know,
But women are attracted to a guy that's a little older than naturally.
Yeah.
They are. It's just
Like,
the natural.
I've
order of
always
things.
like, I know my place. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like, yeah, I'll be fucking killing it when I'm 50.
I
Like,
know, right? But that's why it's father time is on our our side. Time is really on our side. You know
unless
what I mean?
the world ends. But,
Unless
you
the
know,
world, yeah. Unless the world ends. You know what I mean?
check the doomsday clock.
Yeah, you never fucking know with these just terrible. You know what I mean? But yeah, what was another one? All right, damn, I got so much time. All right, do you love America?
Oh. I love the idea in my head of America. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like what little sponge Kyle absorbed in like, you know, his like government classes and
Mhm.
whatnot. Like, yeah, we can change anything we want. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we fight against oppression. And like, you know, like my own personal twist I've put on that. But what I see in America right now, like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They say that the average age of an empire, like empire, the Asian, the imperial empire, whatever empire you could think of, British Empire, they say 250 years is the average age of an empire. America is 248 years old. You know what I mean? Many Americans do feel like we are on the decline of our empire. That America's greatest years are behind it. For how we feel about it, for the most part, we're not the most hopeful about our future. You know what I mean? And
But like, even what comes next?
because Britain was the last.
Britain comes back.
Britain was the
they just
last.
start conquering again.
Before America took over, Britain was the last world superpower that got broken apart. And you know something? As much as Britain fell apart and fell from its grace, at least from the big world super, it still is Britain. It still is London.
Yeah, they
it's
carried
still,
it well.
It still exists, like, you
Even
know.
like, I mean, look at Germany.
Yeah.
You know, like they're killing it.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty all right.
Yeah.
They World War II, communism.
But what they always say is
all
that
shit.
they get spread too thin is what it is. They get spread too thin is what they said. Like how we got military bases all over the world. like literally hundreds of bases all over the world.
One of my favorite comedians, like, he has a joke. He's like, why do we have like military bases all over the world and they don't have anyone here? Like, they just must not like us.
We would never let them get a base here. Are you kidding me? We would never allow such a thing.
No, they just don't like us.
Yeah, they just don't like. They just don't like. They don't want a base here. Like, nah, we're good. We're good. Anywhere American land around the world, we get in trouble. We're like, where's the American embassy? Because we know there's one there.
I mean,
somewhere.
that's something I do. I hate. I mean, like, like my favorite president is fucking Teddy Roosevelt. Where
Really?
he was
Why?
he's bad as fuck.
Because he got shot and kept the speech.
Yeah.
And he's generally for the people. For the
that
most
is
part.
one of the reasons. Like, speak softly, carry a big stick. Like, breaking up the trust. All the fucking
Amazing
projects he.
Yeah.
But like, then he was also all just about like sequestering. He's like, no, like, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Like, why would we get involved? Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, not trying to be the world's policeman. You know what I mean? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, as opposed to, I think he was one of the ones also that also warned against the military-industrial complex.
That's Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, yeah.
Yeah,
But one of
yeah.
But even still, he was still helping to fight against it. You know what I mean? Because this.
Well, that was
this
before
over-
the term was even coined.
Yeah.
Like,
Indulging in this.
they wouldn't let him fight in World War I.
Wow.
Like, he's like, no, let me at him. And they're like, homie, like, you're like 70. Like,
But in World War II, they were not 70-year-olds, but they were drafting older people in World War II. I'm telling you.
but
They
like
said-
World War I, like, that's when he was
Yeah,
still, like,
He's
he's like,
70,
no,
trying to-
I'm good. Like, fucking let's go. And they're
sounds like Biden.
like, dog. No.
Except
If
better.
Biden was like anti-Biden,
Yeah, actually awake and alive.
like awake,
Yeah.
like, dude, okay, honestly, maybe if you combine Biden with Trump,
Yeah.
he's like old, cocky, but like can back it up.
Yeah, still
like,
capable, kind
Yeah.
of.
Like,
Yeah, like how I don't know how old Mike Tyson is right now, but I still don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying?
goddamn, yeah.
In 50, 60, I don't want to fight him still.
No,
right there.
no.
I think I'm gonna not want to fight Mike Tyson till the day he dies. I'm pretty sure.
I think like, I have like a stone thought. I'm like, oh, it'd be fun. Like, Mike Tyson, just hit me on the shoulder. That would probably knock my ass out.
Yeah, I might not have a shoulder ever
Yeah.
again. That might be the end of my life is having two shoulders. That may be the end of my shit. You know what I mean? Damn. All right. Fudgicle. All right. What is your reaction to the Trump assassination? Or assassination attempt. Sorry, attempt is a very important word.
Yeah.
Assassination attempt.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Why are there TikTok videos of this kid getting on a fucking roof and like people be like, hey, there's some dude on the roof.
Yeah.
And nobody's doing anything.
And how come the conspiracy theory is only towards them thinking that Trump set it up and not towards thinking that they allowed it to happen in the first motherfucking place? Because there's, to me, way more evidence of them allowing it to happen than him trying to.
I mean, you look at it, like, what is one of the CIA's main jobs? Is to, like, destabilize governments. What just happened was very destabilizing.
Exactly. And I've heard a couple, two theories I've heard about on that exact line you're talking about fucking worried me and pissed me off immensely. Because one of the stories was fucking, I want to say his name is Kyle Rittenhouse or some shit like that.
Oh, that kid?
Yeah, it was just so.
That fucking went looking for trouble, found it, and then started crying.
So the mainstream media had me believing that this was a white kid who went to a town that he didn't live in to a black protest and shot black people in self-defense, and that's what his case was for. That's what I believe I was believing by the mainstream media. Meanwhile, what actually happened was he was a lifeguard in that same town where he was at for a little while. So he didn't go to some town he didn't live in. He lived in the town. That's number one. Number two, the people he shot were white and not black. Number three, the people he shot, like 2 or 3 of them were like registered like pedophiles, were literally, and it wasn't when one of them pulled a gun on him and attacked him first.
That's a big
You know what I
part.
mean?
Is like homie like actually draw on him.
Exactly.
drew on him.
Exactly. But like to me, it's like the mainstream media ignored all of these parts and just put forth the ones that would what? Destabilize the population, divide the population. They wanted to be divisive. And then I heard a similar story about George Floyd. I heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that before they put the knee on his neck that he had ingested, swallowing drugs, a lot of fentanyl. And then he had enough fentanyl to like kill a horse or two. You know what I mean? And that because only because he was as an addict, why he didn't die immediately. You know what I mean? And that he said there was a videotape of him saying he couldn't breathe before he was even in that position. Because what fentanyl does apparently is that how it works is that it stops you from breathing. Like it relaxes you to the point where, like if you ingested enough fentanyl to kill you, one of the things you would experience before you die was the inability to breathe. Your lungs would stop like functioning. Like you would. So like he was going through that anyway with the things in his drug. The point is that I've seen 2 or 3 examples where they would use some racially charged thing or something where they would spin it in a certain way to divide the public. And when you say the CIA does destabilization now, the thing is we created these organizations thinking they would only act outside of the United States, not on.
Well, we didn't create these organizations, you know.
Yeah, true.
It's it's easier to keep us divided.
Yeah,
than to fight against
a
us united
population. You're right.
That's why, you see, smash divisions, bud. You know,
I agree.
Nothing keeping us apart besides what they let us. You know, take to heart.
That's why they had to. I agree with that 100%. You know what I mean? All right. So, if you had to give advice to your 20-year-old self, what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Keep doing what you're doing. Stay strong because it's going to get harder. Stretch every day.
Stretch. That's right.
Yeah, that's a big one, actually. And it doesn't get easier, but you get better.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember trying to explain that to my ex-girlfriend one day. I was like, you keep complaining about life or something like you're supposed to get better at problem solving. As different problems hit you in life, you gain different tools to deal with these problems.
The difficulty only increases.
Exactly. Like life doesn't get easier. You get better at dealing with life. You know what I mean? So you get stronger. Life stays life.
Up to you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's up to you to learn from your mistakes and get different tools in that tool belt. You know what I mean? So I wish you a very, very long life. And I hope that one day you are 85, 90 years old talking mad shit. And you're like, yo, I was on this dude's podcast in full HD. You know what I mean? Talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull it up for you when I was a young whippersnapper.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you call it? What is the message you would like to have for 80-year-old Kyle?
I hope you have enough ammo.
Because the zombies are coming. Hope you got enough ammo.
I swear where that was going,
Yeah.
buddy. No, I'm a shit talker, and I always make jokes, but yeah.
You gonna be talking shit when you're 80? You think so?
Goddamn better.
That's when I'm gonna talk the most shit when I'm older. Like, I don't know shit.
I ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah. And most of the reason why I'm gonna go with a 9mm over the other calibers for my personal firearm when I first came in. I'm definitely going 9. That's another thing too. I did see a couple guns on Instagram. I didn't get it. Like so guns, sci-fi. There's so much more to get into.
Oh yeah.
But I gotta end the pod. Because it's going on. Listen, man. I want you to know that I very, very, very much. You don't understand. It's hard to get people on the pod. People flake. People get scared. You know what I mean? People find all sorts of reasons not to come on the pod.
Fucking like mid-2000 bone crusher, bro. Never scared.
Yeah, I ain't never scared. I feel you, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And I highly, highly appreciate you coming on the pod. You know, I really, really do. You know what I mean?
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm forever grateful.
Super fun, actually.
Hopefully we'll have
out.
a second episode, right?
Goddamn right.
Hell yeah. I'll have you back on there. You know what I mean? Let me get it going with it. Yep. All right. Y'all already know what I tell you guys every week, man. Listen, there's a lot of places your ears could be. I'm honored they chose to be with me. When in doubt, use calm honesty to express your vision. And most of all, thanks for listening.